think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, I hope y'all doing all right, man. Thought it'd be a good time, a good moment to go ahead and talk a little bit of that boxing. Salute the AC in the building.
Salute.
What's happening with you, man?
Man, just doing good. This is a great topic, man. Salute to Cookie Monster who just stepped in, bro. Yeah, this is a great topic because been trying to get there, but it's been distracted because a lot of people are right now super focused on the Devin Haney and Brian Norman talking points. So, Abdullah's always the second one, but let's give him his spotlight.
Absolutely. And salute to Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster say body work. Salute Cookie Monster. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Sounding oh so amazing. That's what's up. I need my microphone check. Microphone checker. Anyways, let's go ahead and get down to the housekeeping so we can get into it, man. But right before I do that, man, it's been crazy out here, man. Like the winter, I don't know if they manipulating the weather. Well, I'm pretty sure they are. Well, matter of fact, I'm not sure that they are. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. This weather is just really crazy out here.
Yeah, it just became winter in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like it was like we was in the 70s last week, and now like this week has been in the 40s. I'm like, man, this is how you get pneumonia in your booty hole. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta cover up, wear your hoodies, wear your long johns. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it was just my birthday. It was 65 degrees. It snowed today. It was 32 degrees the last 2 days. It felt like 19 today. That's overnight, bro.
Yeah, overnight. That's how you get sick too. That's why I stay bundled up. This my season. I like fall. It's hoodie weather. It's hoodie season. That's my season. I stay with a hoodie on, man. But yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. But let me get to the housekeeping so we can have a good old cook. Let's see. Number 1, Roy Jones to meet with Earl Spence Jr. Now, I had a pleasure of actually listening to Andre Ward. This was actually one of the episodes that I actually really enjoyed because there was nobody to really be biased there about. And I like Roy Jones because he adds a little balance to the whole equation. That's why I kind of like having somebody else up here aside from me, even though I've been holding it down solo, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. But it adds a little balance to the equation when you have somebody with an opposing view or somebody that can bounce back and forth. So I kind of like that dynamic for Andre Ward, especially when you got somebody like Roy Jones, who was one of my childhood favorites. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching Roy, and it got to a point to where, I just couldn't stand Roy. I was just like, man, I don't want to see Roy get back in that ring, man, at a certain point when he kept having his shortcomings, and when it comes to Earl Spence, I don't know if it's going to get like that but I know that I don't want to see him go down that path. So a light bulb went off when he said that. And I don't know when they did this interview. I don't know if it was Sunday or I know they aired it today. But Roy was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go see Errol Spence tomorrow, and I'm gonna see, what he got going on and see how he feel about boxing." He's like, he's not gonna be his trainer. Like he wasn't stamping that he was gonna be his trainer. He said he's just gonna go out there and work with him, see how he feel and whatever. And I'm like, that's good. That would be a great thing for Errol Spence. He's been out for some time, and I know toward the tail end of Roy Jones' career, when he kept getting in there, after all of the athleticism and all the other things that he had was fleeting, and he took he suffered a couple knockouts. I didn't want to see him, but I'm thinking as far as mentorship and as far as just talking to somebody to elite level Hall of Fame talent like that, I think that might do wonders for Earl. It was good to see him back out there at the fights this weekend. I know it triggered a lot of people. I'm like, man, I don't know how the success. It's just, but I'm noticing a pattern, man. It's like with Jermell Charlo, with Errol Spence, with Tank, and a lot of them PBC guys that was pretty much them upper echelon that was actually getting it, getting it how they live, and wreaking havoc in that boxing world, man. A lot of people are closeted haters of them, man. So I don't really get it. I know Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters, and I definitely don't want him to come back if he don't really want to fight. I do hope that he get paid as much as he can. And that his heart is in it if he do decide to come back. And so with Roy Jones and the history of how his career was, and the fact that Roy is a genuine dude, like he don't just be up there just agreeing with Andre Ward for the sake of agreeing with Andre Ward. And here lately, Roy Jones has been very vocal about a couple things, and I'm like, man, I couldn't have said it better, Roy. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully when he sit down with Earl, I don't know when tomorrow was. I know they aired that interview today, but I don't know when the interview actually took place. But hopefully when he sit down with Earl, he can pick his brain. He can give Earl some words of encouragement and also some wisdom, and he can make Earl think about whether coming back is something that he really want to do. Like if he got, if he still got winning his sales and he still actually loved the craft, then no harm, no foul. Definitely come back. But if you're just doing it just to be going through the motions and trying to run up a bag and run up a check, that's very dangerous. So hopefully Roy will encourage the brother, give him, they say flowers, I say salutes, give him his salutes, as a veteran in the game. Shout out to all my veterans, fellow veterans, salute to y'all too. But as a veteran in the boxing game, hopefully he's able to encourage Earl, give him some wisdom, see what he got, and we'll see what happens, from there. That's the first one. But it was good to see Earl out and about, smiling and seeing the fans give him support and take pictures and wanting to be around him. He still got the juice, man. He still got the juice. But number 2, Maul Charlo, which is not Jermell, which is not the undisputed at 154. This is the one that fights up there at 168 now, the undefeated one. Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant are in talks. Now, this is something that I said like right away. Like when everybody was saying, oh no, he got to go get that back with Resendiz and all that. I'm like, well, I know how the business of boxing can be. And, even though Resendiz had me coin a new terminology, which is a thorough beatdown, no drops. That's a Resendiz, a thorough breakdown, body work, fight behind a jab, systematic breakdown. That's a Resendiz. He did give us that. He gained a fan in me because he's a small 168 pounder, coming up from 60, but just a thorough beatdown. I think that's one of Robert Garcia's guys too. And Robert Garcia has a platoon of soldiers over there. He got a little army over there. But after the fight, because maybe Caleb Plant was looking ahead, getting ahead of himself, overlooked, the guy that was right in front of him, which is very dangerous. Looking ahead to Maul Charlo, who they have a history because Caleb Plant, smacked him when Maul was going through mental health, and it's something that Maul been wanting to get through. And Maul said, man, right away when they interviewed Maul, he said he didn't care. He said he didn't care to the fact that he lost. He's like, man, nah, I got, he got to see me. We got to see each other. I don't care if it's next. I would take it. And I was saying, yeah, I mean, that's how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people, like back in the day, rematches might not have happened like right away. Even though I'm sure Caleb Plant probably want to get that back with Resendiz. Resendiz might want to go on and do something. Sometimes the rematch never happens. But I was in agreement with Maul saying, man, look, it don't matter that he lost. They got bad blood. Like, it bump all of this storyline and stuff in the way that boxing is going now, especially for me as a hardcore. I could deal less with the storylines and all that. I want to see the scraps. Now, if it's already bad blood there, two people don't like each other, or a history of like somebody slapping the fire out of somebody, yeah, let's see that. I don't care if that man lost to you. Like, I mean, it should be the same way. Like when you look at Devin. Like, Devin shouldn't be looking like it was some kind of reward because Rolly beat Ryan. No. Devin should still want to get back with Ryan. Like, it should still be on, like, pretty much in the ring on site, not out in public, guys. But that's how it should be. If you got a problem, you got an issue, and especially as like the lovely sport of boxing, where it's like out here in these streets, it can get ugly, it can get crazy. You can get stabbed, shot, cut, and all that. We can't just be like, oh yeah, I got a problem with you. Like, we can, and it do still go down. But in the sport of boxing, you can actually get it on for real. Like, if it was really some hands, you can actually sign up, get paid, and have a whole bunch of people watch. So I'm like, why not? And I hope this gets to the finish line. 2026 is looking quite lovely, man. It's starting off like if I would say right now, if half of the fights that are scheduled or being talked about actually do come to fruition, in this first quarter of 2026, man, we're gonna be ecstatic. It's gonna make up for the lull in action, with a lot of these cancellations we got this year. Even though this year hasn't been bad, you know what I'm saying? It's just been a couple little gaps there, with some fights that should have been taking place. Like, it should have been a big fight taking place this week. But I hope Maul and Caleb Plant do get it on. I hope they come to terms. I hope that fight goes down. It's a must. We want to see Maul stay active, and he's very formidable. He's very dangerous, and the more active he gets, if we could see Maul at least, we see him at the beginning or by spring, and then we see him again like one or two more times, he'll be all the way back. And he still got a couple years because as long as his faculties are in order and he's training, he's still very formidable. He's very, very dangerous. Like, an in shape, active Maul Charlo. I mean, he hasn't been beat, man. It's dare I say, I mean, he might be unbeatable on top of his game. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. I know a lot of people ducked and dodged him. I would love to see him put hands and feet on Caleb Plant. I would love it. That's just me. So hopefully the boxing gods don't forsake us on that one, and we actually get to see that come to fruition. Number 3, Billy and Munguia. They're saying Lester Martinez got bumped up, so he's going to hell out of card, I think, on Pro Box again, because he is a Pro Box guy. And Billy is going to take on Jaime Munguia. I think that's going to be a good scrap. It's going to show us where these guys are. We know that Munguia is susceptible. I always say that Munguia was slightly overrated. I think, man, if he was more disciplined, and he would stay on his nutrition and all that, he shouldn't really be up at 68. That's just me. But he is kind of like size wise and stature, he do look like a pretty big dude. But I think that if he just stayed on his if he stayed in shape and got a nutritionist, he could be able to stay down at 60, you know what I'm saying, and probably cause more problems. Because I think at those lower weights, he definitely had more power. But I don't know what's up with some of these guys where when they move up, the power don't come along with them. Because I think he had beat that dude Juan Montiel, who Maul went, you know, it was he pretty much thoroughly beat him up, you know what I'm saying? But like he hit Juan Montiel with everything but the kitchen sink. And that was a guy that Munguia was able to stop in the lower weight classes. So in the lower weight classes, he had power. I think this is a true test. And I think that if he tries to stand in front of Billy, and Billy gonna come in with them good old power wings, you know what I'm saying, and maul him down, you know. So that's a good fight. That's a builder for Billy, because a lot of people are high. You know, I know my father-in-law, he loves some Billy, man. He called him because he got a video out called the French Mike Tyson. A little stretch, but you know what I'm saying, he likes him a lot, so he high on. So I try to stay abreast of what's going on with Billy. And so Munguia, I think he got cleared of the little PED incident that he had. You know, I think they got that all clear. So he's back in the clear. He's back in the good graces, at least my good graces. So we'll be able to see that here soon, which is, you know, a good little fight. You know, a good little fight. Lastly, please let Tank speak for himself, man. You know, there's a lot of people out here, man. I know it's a lot of Tank fans out here, man, but like it's starting to annoy me, man. Nobody knows what happened. You know, we can pretty much say, like, if you had any run-in with the law, if you've been around for any substantial period of time, if you've been an adult for more than about 10 years, you know what I'm saying, that means you about 28 or older, then we know that the story just don't sound right. But this stupid ass way of trying to sound unbiased by saying, oh, if he did do it, then lock his ass up, like you sound dumb. Like trying to reason that the man really got a problem with women, you sound dumb. You know what I'm saying? You just sound dumb. Like I just think that, man, let Tank speak for himself, because I think a lot of people trying to come to his defense and these weird ass stories and analogies and reasoning and logic that they try to put behind it, they just make it worse. It's like you're not doing them any favors by coming out here and giving your reasoning, like trying to insinuate just because all of these people have made these accusations that they're true. Like when you are making that kind of money, when you're arguably, you know, I don't know, like let's just say in American boxing, pretty much number one in American boxing as far as what you bring home, like what you making. I mean, unless you want to take as a promoter and what Jake Paul got, it might be something there. But like second to Canelo, you know, maybe a Usyk, you know, if the reports are right as far as the money, like second to like maybe them two, maybe. But you pretty much number uno and you got a bullseye on your back. You don't know what the hell's going on. It's just like when Deshaun Watson came out and he had all of these, like out of the blue. You know, he was a superstar quarterback for Clemson. He go down there with the Texans. He's doing this thing. He's poised. He looking like he getting ready to grab the torch and run. Like you would have been like, what the hell? Like the whole the guy out there, Mahomes. Stat-wise, he used to kill Mahomes without all of the weapons. Then all of a sudden, all these allegations just came out the woodworks. Now, some of that stuff is funky. Some of it's like, you don't know what the hell. Like, nobody knows nothing about the stories. Like, all we see is remember what I told y'all a long time ago. He who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. He who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. Like, don't y'all know that governments, dictatorships, they've always ran simultaneously with you being able to control the media. What is media, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? Media is newspaper, videos, news, interviews, tabloids, you know, all of that stuff. If you have a control, if you have an outlet and you have eyeballs, depending on who's what and who's being the puppeteer, who's pulling the strings, they're going to allow certain information to come out, and they're not going to police it up. They're not going to clean it up. I think we should just shut the fuck up about it, because we're not making any sense. Like, especially this whole trying to sound like a Tank fan, but then you're not really a Tank. Everybody know you ain't really a Tank fan. Like, but trying to come out with these weird ass scenarios and trying to explain and trying to make it seem like, come on, man. It ain't no proof, ain't no real proof, ain't no real story out there. It don't even make sense. Now you got it to the point to where I seen an interview where a dude was asking Bozy about Virgil and the whole Virgil situation and whether or not, you know, they think the fight gonna happen. And then he asked him about Crawford. And then here you have the guy conducting the interview ask Bozy, well, what do you think about the Tank and Jake Paul fight not going down? Bozy didn't even know. Like, Bozy didn't even know what the hell was going on. Like, Bozy, like, he looking, you can see on his face, he like, look, that ain't none of my business. He was polite and start answering, and here go the dude. Well, listen, Bozy, it had to do with something involving an incident with some female. I just clicked off of it. I'm like, why are you the interviewer telling somebody that you're interviewing some information and then asking them about it? Like, come on, man. Just shut the fuck up. Like, nobody knows what's going on. It's looking fugazi. The man got a bullseye on his back. This the same. I said this the same shit that happened when that shit that happened with Rolly. That's that stuff that happened with Rolly when Rolly was getting ready to fight Tank and the fight got pushed off because it was some SEX allegations and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like it just went away. Like, stuff like that just don't go away. And most of the time, if it just go away like that, it was fabricated. Like, this shit don't got no real legs on it. But we keep, like, dumbass people keep getting online and keep putting it out there because you ain't got nothing else to talk about. Breathing air into the cells of this story. It's a story right now. Like, it ain't even no real news. It ain't nothing going on. All it was a way for Jake Paul and them to get out the fight. Because Tank wasn't sticking to the script. That's how it looked. You don't know if this man really got a problem with women like that. Like, it's easy to be able to say that. Especially when you got a bullseye on your back in this day and age when people could just be like, all right, here, just take this bread and be quiet. Just to keep me out of litigation. I got bigger and better things to do. Like, no. So if you don't really know, if you don't really got no insights, like, just stop talking for Tank. Y'all making it worse. Even a quote unquote Tank fan, y'all just making it worse, in my opinion. Just let that man talk for himself. Man probably couldn't even enjoy his birthday because every time you turn around, somebody's asking, the fight is canceled. Get over it. It's done. It's over. Why you gotta keep getting everybody's opinion on it? Just to talk about some shit that you know nothing about. That's just how I feel, man. Leave that shit alone. Let that man speak for himself. He got management. He got lawyer. Let that man speak for himself, because a lot of people trying to come to his defense are just making it worse. It's just sounding bad. Y'all adding shit. Y'all insinuating shit. It just sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? The story ain't got no legs. Ain't got no factual information, really. People are reaching and grasping for straws. There's nothing there but a dumbass allegation. That's it. Move on. That's my housekeeping, man.
Bro, let me start from where you just ended. I feel the same way, and I've been on plenty of channels, not getting into my my theory, but basically just saying it like this. bro. Nobody know what information, and this story is like, for me, the 13-year-old girl whose name they tried to attach Jay-Z to with the whole Diddy shit. It's the chick who was in a club with Jay who accused him of hitting her over the head with a champagne bottle, but there's no nothing, but she's suing the man and asking for a Range Rover. That was real. You feel what I'm saying? No medical report, but when she shows up in civil court, she said, listen, all I want is a range. So it's like we listen, the story has no legs, and everybody who was trying to just be definitive about it, I was like, listen, bro, do you have proof? Yeah, but there's got to be a video. I said, so don't you think the detectives within 24 hours would have gotten their hands on that video?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many days are we removed from it? And she filed her complaint 3 days after the fact. So just read the story, bro, and you'll say, you know what, I ain't really got no business, whatever. If I wanted to attach anything to it, I may go back to that Jake Paul and Tank interview where Tank just kept on looking at this dude and listening to Jake and like, bro, you think I'm gonna fuck with this script that you working with, where people are like, yo, Jake might knock Tank out, and Jake is a heavyweight, and Tank had that nigga shook. Just like Rahman Jr. had him shook. If you look at that interview and then look at the press conferences with Hakeem Rahman Jr., you can see heavy similarities.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I don't recall anything where Tank said in their own video he's training up north. I don't see anything that would have brought him down to Florida, Miami. There was no press conferences, nothing on the schedule. Why are you there? So at the end of the day, this is where I leave it alone. I'm gonna go to Minbilly.
Yeah.
Minbilly's a hell of a talent.
Mm-hmm.
A crazy hell of a talent. He's pretty much like either the one or two guy representing Canadian boxing. You feel what I'm saying? But my issue is this. You spoke about Maul Charlo.
Yeah, Maul. Mm-hmm.
Maul get past Caleb Plant. The next fight I would love to see Maul in is I want to see Maul just take out Minbilly.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because then you solidify yourself, and Minbilly, they have him as the number one ranked guy at that division right now.
Wow.
So you take Minbilly out, you back in a horse race.
Yeah, I like it.
So I'm a big fan of that fight. Minbilly versus Munguia. The Munguia that used to let his hands go at 160 and 154. That Minbilly beats the shit. I mean, that Munguia beats the shit out of Minbilly, in my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? Because he threw those combinations, and in every one of those combinations, it's at least two body shots. He's a body head type of dude when he used to throw those combinations, which you can tell why, Roy did say what he said about Munguia, but he said he's unproven. You feel what I'm saying? He's supposed to do that type of stuff against that level of opposition. So now Munguia's in there with somebody that you square up too much, you stay in that pocket a little bit too long. If this guy decides just to throw one of them joints and it's in between one of your punches or punching at the same time you punching, if you were slept clean by the part-time math teacher, then Minbilly's gonna knock you fucking stupid. He might knock you through the ropes. You know what I'm saying?
Because we learned from that last fight.
Huh?
Especially if he took anything away from that last fight with Lester Martinez. I think he should be able to grow from that fight.
Yeah, and that's where we're really gonna see whether Minbilly is gonna be a contender. I think Minbilly is gonna. Me personally, I just got this feeling about Minbilly to whereas he's going to be a honest, well-paid gatekeeper. Stylistically, the way he fights, I don't see him necessarily beating a Pacheco because he punches way too wide. You feel what I'm saying? I definitely don't see him beating Hamza because he punches too wide, and I don't know his approach to getting in on the inside. It just allows those guys to just constantly take that half step back and shoot the shot that Lester Martinez was capitalizing on him with that uppercut. And both of them have a way better uppercut than Martinez. And we saw him in Billy's face because of that uppercut.
Yeah.
You
What
feel
about Iglesias? What about Iglesias?
Iglesias,
Aussie, yeah.
he's been looking kind of shaky to me. I don't know if it's the level of competition or these fights have really been good step-up fights for Iglesias, but his last fight had me like with some questions about him, like what's going on with you, bro? Like this is not the fluidity I'm kind of looking to see from you, and you got me like really questioning that if what's the other Cuban dude that what is his name?
Morel?
Yeah, Morel.
Mm-hmm.
If David Morel was to come back down to 68, I don't think you beat Morel, bro. I think Morel might put some serious hands on you because you showed some real flaws, and I don't know if it was the guy was a little bit more technical than you or you wasn't really up for the fight, but there was just something off in that last fight that I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. You showing me something that I don't know if somebody rises at 168 to be that elite guy, whether or not you could really fuck with him.
Yeah, he got a fight coming up too with a considerable name. You know, not nobody that people gonna be like, oh my gosh, let me get your autograph, but somebody that everybody know. I seen it. A lot of people just now kind of brushing up on Iglesias, so I didn't put it in here. But he got a fight coming up with a decent name. Mm-hmm. What you think about Maul versus Caleb Plant though? If that were to happen, who you got winning that?
That's a good fight. I think overall, the later the fight goes, the more it favors Maul Charlo. Because Caleb Plant just has shown me that he's not a sustainable fighter. The way he fights in the first 5 rounds is not going to be the way he's fighting in the last 5 rounds. You feel what I'm saying? And because he has that where he has to slow down the pace so he can pace himself. For a person like Maul, I think that fits right into his wheelhouse to whereas he can capitalize on them slower moments from Caleb Plant. Like pressure him and make Caleb Plant make mistakes because Caleb is like, I can't really exchange like this because I got to conserve this. And I think that's the things that got Caleb Plant in trouble when it came down to McCumbee. Although McCumbee kind of gassed and showed like he didn't have a second gear against Caleb Plant. If he could have matched Caleb Plant when Caleb Plant decided to turn it up, McCumbee might have been able to sneak something away. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But he just didn't have that extra wrinkle in his conditioning or his ability to make that adjustment and then turn it up. Maul has that ability. We just haven't seen it in a while, but he still has that ability.
Yeah. And what you think about Roy meeting up with Earl?
I kind of like it because to follow up on the talking point you were saying when you were talking about Earl, I don't know if Roy would be the best trainer for Earl Spence.
Yeah, I don't really. That's what I wanted to say. I didn't want to say it, but I don't think so either. As far as training,
I don't know if he winds up being the best trainer, but he might be the best voice of reason for Earl Spence. You feel what I'm saying? To find out and really let him know, like after they have their conversation, he's like, "Listen here, champ. I'ma just be blunt and stick to the point. Where is your mindset for real? Like I saw you at the last fight. Did that spark that thing in you, like when you were hungry and you were at your first fight and you walked into the first stadium you were supposed to perform in, and you just looked up at the bleachers, the lights and everything was like, I'm about to fight here and put a show on for these people. If you have that same hunger and that hunger hasn't gone nowhere, then for sure find the right trainer and stuff like that and go back into it. But if that spark is not there, my humble opinion, don't put yourself in the harm's way of getting seriously hurt out here because you're not 100% focused on the mission.
Yeah. Roy gotta have that Rocky speech with him, man. Remember when Rock be like, I don't know, Paulie, I got something in the basement, it's just feeling like, what is it, Rocky? I got something in the basement.
Yeah.
You gotta see if Earl still got something in the basement, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he gonna alongside with that, you take him over there, you know what I'm saying? And you sit that man down and you have that big mirror and you say, listen, you got to tell that guy. You could tell me whatever you want to tell me, but you got to tell that guy the same thing. If you can tell that guy the same thing you telling me and you really believe it, then, make it happen, bro. You're going to have all the support from all the boxing fans that rock with you,
Word. Cool. Good stuff, man. You got anything else on the housekeeping before we get into the cook?
Yeah, just to end it off with this. Yesterday I was in a good 2-hour debate with the young boxing fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was confused or didn't really understand why I made the comment that, for me, Bud has pretty much done everything in boxing. I don't really see him doing anything else that's like kind of relevant and leave on top, leave like Andre Ward, leave like Floyd, leave like you feel what I'm saying, to where you still got your faculties, you could speak well, you could be a great representative for the sport and shit like that. And then I said on the opposite hand, I still think Errol might have work to do because I don't know if he wants to leave his career with the asterisk of his last fight was the fight he had with Terrence Crawford. Like, do you want to whitewash that victory? Because I don't know how you would want to live with that through history. Like, this is the guy you fought. You rose all the way to the top. You did it from the mud. You fought this guy, and then this guy retired you. So I was saying, for Errol Spence, I think he can come back. He's the younger guy. You feel what I'm saying? He still has a fan base that still wants to see him. And the dude was like, well, I don't know how you could say this guy who did everything, he shouldn't fight no more. But the guy who been in car accident, had the eye surgery, and all of this other stuff should put himself in harm's way to fight. And it's like, no, it's because how you want the narrative to be spoken about the end of your career. One guy has done everything, so the narrative is in his favor. Whether he decides to fight next, or does this Jennebeck thing, or decides to walk away from boxing, his narrative is written. You feel what I'm saying? Everything else is just personal choice. With this guy over here, his story is kind of not untold. He still has room to fill in the blank spaces. Does he have a happily ever after ending, or is it more of a dark or cynical or whatever type of ending? This is where Errol Spence is. Where Bud is, it's someplace different. And if you can't really understand that dynamic, then I don't know how long you've been watching boxing. Because
you probably could have used Danny as an example. Because Danny, I know it ate him up inside. Like if he'd have just let it go with that Lara, him quitting against Lara. So he had to have his last dance, and he picked Buddy, and he went out on a high note. You know what I'm saying? At least he bookended his career with something like that. So Danny's a good example.
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, bro, I was just like, look, I get the younger person's standpoint. You feel what I'm saying? But when you've been watching boxing long enough, and I said, look, you got guys like Roy Jones, Evander Holyfield, Bernard Hopkins, De La Hoya. All of these guys stayed in too long. Shane Mosley, they stayed in too long, and then they just went through a series of losses because guess what happened to them? age caught up to them, and the next generation of talent caught up to them.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So it's just like, bro, just, you know, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I just don't want to see a dude who has everything right here. He can go out on top right here. Why stay in to do these weird ass fan favorite fights instead of just, you know, walking away? If you decide to stay in on your own, fine, bro, fine. But if that young talent runs up on you, and then they hand you an ass kicking that nobody was expecting, then it is what it is.
Yep.
But
good point.
You
know, it's all in if Earl wanna, you know, if his heart is in it, you know, and yeah, I can see him wanting to at least bookend it the right way, bookend the career the right way. I don't want to see him go through what Roy went through. It got to the point to where I was like, man, Roy, I wasn't watching it. I stopped watching. It's the reason why I left boxing for a couple years, because when I seen Tyson and how he went out and he kissed that dude Tommy Morrison on the cheek and all that, and was just like, thank you. I just, you know, like, I was just like, man,
yeah,
I stopped watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see Roy, that stuff happening with Roy, and then I'm seeing Mike Tyson kiss this dude on the cheek like a cheek like a sucker. I was just like, man. So I stepped away for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But ironically, seeing Spence and Tank and them boys kind of brought me back. I always tell that story. Them guys brought me back to boxing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know. That's a good segue, man. Let's get into the future, man. You know, I ain't know what you was thinking when I sent you the thing, man, and this was the topic, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a great topic, bro. I was over there on Pop's channel just talking with Blair, and he was just talking crazy. I'm like, okay, bro, all right, my guy.
Blair the Flair?
Yeah.
He was over there?
Yeah. He just on a spur just pulled up and shit like that. But honestly, I put most of his joint on mute, and like the questions that I asked him was about things he was saying. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, if you feel that there is, you know, all those guys got to go through you for their greatness, I'm just asking the question, what are you doing that puts you in line that, you know, for all of this stuff that you're saying is going to happen? You feel what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying and everything, Blair, but at the end of the day, you haven't basically kind of announced how you get there. And he was like, yeah, it's just things that I'm working on and stuff like that. But if it all comes through within between the two fighters that I'm supposed to fight, it puts me in either a title eliminator or something else like that. So I'm like, okay, so if you're gonna go after the IBF or go to WBO direction like you said, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? But I think you might be underestimating some of the talent that's up there right now because they're relatively unknown to you. You feel what I'm saying? And he's
staying in welterweight.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Okay,
that's what he was saying. He was staying at 47, and I had asked him, okay, so you said in the past that you're a guy that could fight at 140 or 147. You know, you mentioned the IBF, so you're saying to yourself that you won't have an issue, you know, fighting the Lewis Crocker and dealing with the 10-pound rehydration and stuff like that. And he was like, no, I won't have issues with that. So I was like, okay, if you go after that IBF and ain't for some reason that nobody's, you know, making any moves to actually go after that IBF belt right now, it's looking like one of those situations to where we was like, Why is nobody trying to fight Skull? But at the end of the day, he wasn't really saying anything that I could like really grasp and walk away with. It was more so the type of situation to whereas Pop put it together for Boom to talk to Blair. But at the end of the day, for me, um, I'd rather get into the Abdullah Mason conversation because he needs his spotlight, and people really need to understand that he does what he needs to do against a Sam Noakes, who's, in my opinion, um, if I had to look at Sam Noakes stylistically, somebody brought up Ricky Hatton earlier. I was like, I don't know. He's more like a Mikkel Kessler to me. You feel what I'm saying? He's there to be hit. He's got some decent boxing skills, but if you let them heavy hands, connect and get caught too much in the exchanges with him, he can do some damage to you and surprise you with some of that strength he carries in his punches.
Yeah. I got a breakdown on Noakes, but the title: Abdullah Mason can grab the torch in 2 weeks with a dominant performance for the WBO crown against Sam Noakes. Let's break it down. Now, this young man, he to me, he's one of 3 fighters right now that is helping me sustain my love for boxing, man. I'm gonna be honest. Him, Brian Norman Jr., and Jesse Bam Rodriguez, man. Like, Derek Scooter Davis, I gotta see a little more of him, but I everything I've seen when I hear him in the interviews, the way he fight, like when you talk the way I think a young person should be, when you talk the way I think a young person should talk, and then you have a fighting style like that caters to my liking, you got me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's rare that it matches up. You don't got to be Floyd with the gift of gab, in my opinion, but you got to have a personality. And if you're more genuine and you let your hands do your talking for you in the ring, like all of those guys I mentioned, you're gonna be all right. Because I always say this. I always say that it's weird how when you had Keyshawn and he was starting to look like he was peaking a little bit, like he was on his rise, and you had Devin Haney and you had Ryan, you had all these guys that people just love to talk about all day every day. Of course, people love to hate on Tank all day every day. I was just like, what keeps Abdullah Mason in the conversation? And the common denominator was his performances. When you go inside the ring and you render judgment with the ones and twos, like this man with an 89% knockout ratio, it's only 2 people that survived. And those were like in 4-rounders and 6-rounders. It was 1 4-rounder and 1 6-rounder. It just wasn't enough rounds. Like, and sometimes you can't get it done earlier on, but that's an indication. That's why I be trying to tell these guys. You can say, oh, this is they just they putting them in with this tough guy and all this. It's like, well, if they put this guy in there with a 6-round, 8-round, 10-round, the objective is to get that guy out of there. That's what separates you apart. Sometimes you need to get your rounds, like get a couple rounds, get a fill-out round, but you're supposed to get them out of there. That's how you become a star. You don't not by letting it go to the judges. This man very rarely allows them to go to the judges. When I do the breakdown on him, Abdullah Mason, he's 19-0 with 17 knockouts. Got an 89.47% knockout ratio. Sam Noakes, he's 17-0 with 15 knockouts. He's right at 88%. So they both can thump. Abdullah Mason is only 21. He'll be 22 in April. Sam Noakes is 28. They got Abdullah Mason listed at 5'9",
and he has a 74-inch reach. Sam Noakes, he's only 5'8", and he got a 68-inch reach. So Abdullah got him by an inch in height, and he got him by 8 inches in reach. That sticks out to me, and that's what makes a guy like Abdullah Mason stick out, because he has those long ass arms and he knows how to use them. So when he gets leverage off his punch, and when he got some speed behind it, it's because his arms are long and the speed, you don't realize that shit's coming up. That's the same reason why a guy like Fundor, when he hit you with an uppercut, that shit don't look like it might not look like it's all that powerful before, but because his arms are so long, that shit has more impact. It's just like Bud, more impact with them long ass arms. This guy, Abdullah Mason, man, he's another thing that gets me excited about him is because of his activity, a level of activity, how frequent he fights. Now I know in the building stage they tend to fight a little bit more, but I reason that this is a guy that we're probably definitely gonna be able to count on fighting a minimum of twice, but preferably 3 times a year. I'm thinking, man, at a minimum, he's not gonna be one of them guys where it's like, oh, this is the annual Abdullah Mason fight. Like, I know, not for a very, very long time at least, because in 2025, this is his 4th fight. In 2024, he fought 5 times. In 2023, he fought 5 times. In 2022, he fought 5 times. And when he debuted in 2021, he only had 1 fight. It was late in the year. But if you look at it, you know, he's 19-0 in the time that he's, you know, been here, and it's right at 4 years. He's been pro for 4 years. So in 4 years, he's getting a crack at a title. Sam Noakes, he's been fighting for 6 years. His first 2 years, he was fighting people that was like heavily upside down. There was some numbers on his resume I couldn't believe. You know, but Abdullah Mason, he's only fought like 2 people with upside down records, and that was like, they were like 1-2 and 1-3, and that was very early on. You know what I'm saying? That's the only ones. But other than that, the guys that he's been fighting, they've been having decent records. You know what I'm saying? They've been having decent records. So I think Top Rank did a good job as building this man up to this point.
Your
and
volume just went out.
My volume went out?
Yeah. Just for a second.
I think they've been doing a good job. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they've been doing a good job at building them. And I think that he has the makings of being that guy. I really do think he can pick up this torch. Now, as far as my breakdown for Sam Noakes, I've been looking at him. I've been looking a little bit of him every week. I've been looking at him a little bit, and this is what I actually came up with as far as Sam Noakes. In my notes, let me get back to my notes. Let me see. Sam Noakes. He's in love with the right hand, which can be very dangerous if he lines you up. He barely jabs, but he will paw with it. Touch to bring in the right hand, or he'll do a 1-2. He'll 1-2 you with the jab right hand. You know, he will clip you in the back or the top of the head. Now that's what Abdullah got to be worried about. Like, that's what he got to be looking for, because he will. Well, he kind of got that. He's tall, and he kind of got he do got that big ass reach. But I would look for that, because he will hit you on the top of the head and in the back of the head. You know, he got a nice right hand, but he's not fundamentally sound. So being that Mason has technical ability and he's surgical and he fights with precision, I don't see Mason having a hard time. It might be some nervous jitters. The biggest concern for me might be if you come out there cold or needing to warm up, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get hit early with some shit because adrenaline's flowing. But as long as he come out there a little lathered up, ready to go, he don't come out there cold. You know, he get his juices flowing before he get out there. If Mason fights in typical Abdullah Mason fashion, behind the jab, and he's surgical and patient, I don't think he's going to have any problems. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to make a statement. So what do you think about the initial breakdown?
I mean, it's pretty accurate, and that's why I kind of give him that comparison more to Mikkel Kessler, because Mikkel didn't have the best jab, but what he did have was a certain tenacity, and if you let him get in close enough to you, it can get really, really dangerous. You feel what I'm saying? But when you look at a fighter like Calzaghe caught his timing and then turned it up on the second gear and then turned it up on the third gear on him and shit like that. Abdullah Mason had that ability. You know what I'm saying? And for me, when I heard Abdullah Mason speak, he said certain things that I've been big on lately, because I'm using it in certain comparisons to other fights, and it's going to be one of the deciding factors for me moving on when I talk about fights. It's, do you understand the assignment that's in front of you? Based on the type of shit you talking, it's going to let me know whether you understand the assignment in front of you. And Abdullah Mason is one of those guys that I look at and say, he's an assignment type fighter. It's going to be very hard to beat this dude, if anybody beats this dude, because as long as he stays doing what he's doing right now and understanding the assignment and then trying to unleash a couple of other wrinkles, because this assignment right here may afford you that ability, but you got to be careful of what comes back to you, because we're going to put you in this situation. Do I think to a certain degree Sam Noakes is tailor-made for Abdullah Mason's style? I'm going to say yeah, because he's going to be there for Abdullah to hit, for Abdullah to look good doing what he does on, but Abdullah also has to worry about being defensively responsible, because that's the challenge that Sam Noakes is going to offer to you. If you slip up and you're not defensively responsible in some of your actions, Sam Noakes can turn the tide of the fight on you, maybe permanently or for a hot second or whatever. But you'll always be in threat of Sam Noakes having that ability. So Abdullah Mason's jab, if he stays behind the jab and stays disciplined and follow the assignment, which was, dictated, which then gave you the game plan that you guys are going to follow. So it should be an easy fight for Abdullah Mason to showcase his talent. You know what I'm saying? But there's always going to be that element of danger, just like the dude that he fought that he got dropped by the first time the guy that dropped him twice. They understood the assignment and said, we're going to try to unleash this wrinkle within this assignment, because this guy might be the perfect candidate for you to work on this particular thing. And then when you made your mistake, you paid for it.
Yeah, they got Johan Vasquez, and he was asked about it, and Abdullah's. I like his response, and I like the fact that he confronts it, because I know 2 pound for pound guys who, one got clipped and denied that he got clipped, the other one got hurt and denied that he got hurt, and then he came back months later and said, "Yeah, I might have got hurt, but blah blah blah." Abdullah didn't do either one. Like Abdullah, he confronted it straight on. He said, "Listen," he said, I kind of hate to say it like this. He said, but he said, I think that needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it showed me that, I could bounce back from it. I can get back, but that I'm also like, I gotta be aware, So I like that he confronted his weakness and he didn't deny it. Like he's like, and that's I get the same vibe from Brian Norman. They don't act like their shit don't stink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they know that they have things, they're human. Like they're not they're not like bigger than life and all of that. Like they're not hardy or high minded. And so that's gonna go a long way. Like knowing, and I like the fact that he suffered that adversity and then got right back up and then stopped the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because they make some comparisons about how tough you are, and I've heard people try to say, "Oh, you got dog and you got grit." It's like if you keep getting knocked down, that means your chin is weak. I don't care. Like you got a weak chin. You know, if you keep getting knocked down, like you get knocked down 4 or 5 times, just because you get up, you have courage. That don't mean, in my opinion, that you have dog. Like I don't know. I've been hearing this, you know, conversation about one certain fighter. And it's a little frustrating to me, but I already know what it is because everybody's jockeying for this guy to be something that he's not. I don't think we have to deal with that with Abdullah Mason. If he get dropped, he's gonna probably get back up and stop you. You know what I'm saying? And if he did it, if you are able to knock him down, it's probably because he was working on some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think Buddy was awkward. He caught him. You know, and it wasn't like he didn't have his hand where it was supposed to be. It was where it was
dude turned it over. Yeah.
Dude
turned it over at the last second, and it's like, okay,
for sure.
that's a dude that got ring IQ because he said, I keep throwing this punch, and I see he trying that uppercut because he keeps getting in that stance. So I'm gonna give him the punch, let him get in that stance, but then I'm gonna turn it over. Maybe his corner told him that, but I give that dude respect where people was trying to say, no, who was that dude? I'm like, then y'all have no idea about the 135-pound division because that dude is a puncher. And he was perfect.
For sure. Hey, man.
He was the perfect level of competition for Abdullah to face on that night.
Salute to AC, man. Salute to Body. Hey, before I say anything, before I end this day, I gotta say, man, we appreciate you, Mr. Rogers, and thank you for your services and everything that you've done for this country, man. You are great. You know what I mean? So I just want to send my thank you and appreciate you for, former military, everything. You know, we appreciate you for sure, man. So thank you, Salute, for real. Other than that, hey, shout out Bodywork Boxing, man. We back with another one, I see. So what's good, everybody? What's up? Tonight we talking about one of the fights I've been waiting to talk about. Sam Noakes, Abdullah Mason. Really like this fight. Really like the belt behind it, the WBO. That's my second favorite belt. So I'm kind of glad that you said what?
What's your first favorite belt? The WBC?
Of course, I need that green strap, baby. But check it out. On a serious note, I'm excited for Abdullah Mason. I feel like it's his time. I feel like it's kind of been his time, though. I don't know how to say that without it sounding like a diss. So again, I just feel like it's been Abdullah's time, man. He showed on multiple occasions he can fight. He's that dude. He's been knocked down. He's faced adversity. And he got asked the question, like the brothers just said. He didn't shy from anything. He said what was up, came straight out and said it. So I think what really grabbed me on to Abdullah Mason is just his style, his technique, his attitude, most importantly, because the way he thinks is different. I've never met or seen a boxer like him for the way he thinks. So I commend him. He really got an appetite for smoke. He said he'll fight anybody. He named all the names. He'll fight them all. I think he a badass. I really do. I think he with whatever. I think he remind me of myself in a way, but he just a little bit better. So again, I really
like that speaks volumes for you to say that. Boom. Yeah. Wow, bro.
Yep.
That's
I really
real
like
shit,
Abdullah Mason, man. Yep. I really fuck with him, man. I think that his style and his technique and everything I think he up there with, like, we're going to be talking about him with the greats at the end when it's all said and done. I just think the guy is that good. I don't think that this is just right now. I think that the way he focuses, I just like the way he talks too, man. Like, that kind of sounds crazy, but I mean, like, when I say that, I'm saying, like, when he talks to these reporters and these people, he don't sound crazy. He is really just himself. And like I said, I commend him for that. So, yeah, man, I'm really going for Abdullah Mason. Although, I do want Sam Noakes to give up a great fight. Like, I want him to show heart. I want him to show, you know, some type of grit, some type of dog, some type of something. Please don't be a guy that just goes to sleep too. You know, like let's see, like let's just see a guy. Let's see a side of Abdullah we never seen. You know,
Well,
I'm
I can
being
tell you one
serious.
thing.
So.
Boom, look, boom. His name don't begin with an L. His name ain't Lima or Lubin. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully
Right,
he don't give up the ghost in the first or the second round. Like, hopefully he don't come in there and do one of these.
Word. Word. And sit up against the ropes.
He can't
So
see me.
again, man, for real. So again, man, I'm really rooting for Abdullah Mason again, and it's a brother on top of that. I always do like to root for the brothers. I was rooting for Lubin, so that should speak a little bit of volume. But again, though, man, I can't wait to see Abdullah fight. When he fights, I zone in. Like, what I do is, bro, I grab my pencil, my notebook. I really tune out all the noise, really silence everything. Sometimes I even put on a little bit of music, like anxiety music or some soothing music to, you know, keep me calm and really be able to learn from the guy. Like, that's how serious I take him. Like, I think he's really that good. So, again,
I'm
he
gonna ask
remind me of
y'all
myself.
both. I'm gonna ask y'all
Yeah.
both. I'm gonna ask y'all
Yeah,
both.
man.
Give me Abdullah's greatest strength, and then give me a weakness. Give me one of his weaknesses, like something if you can spot any.
Go ahead, AC.
I'm gonna say this. His greatest strength is his patience. His greatest weakness is right now he's in such high regard, but people still have to understand he's still learning. So because he's still at that stage of still learning and stuff like that, and he's not quite there to where we know the Abdullah style, the Abdullah Mason or the Mason style of boxing. We're almost there, but he still needs a little bit more time. And in that time of developing that, I just think that he's vulnerable.
Hey, AC, great evaluation. For me, I would say, like on a serious aspect, his greatest asset to me, when I see him, is his punch placement. I think where he places those shots, man, like he's hitting you in spots like you didn't know he could punch. You know what I mean? Or you didn't know it was open. Like, I don't know. I like I really like his punch placement. I really think that where he lands those shots at is what helps him dominate in his fight, like for real. And then his weakness, to me, people might think I'm tripping, but I think his guard, like where he like, so like if he has his high guard up, it's not the best. When he's guarding his body, it's not the best either. You know what I mean? So again, I think that he's in like a flurry when he's in exchange. Like sometimes he's winning those exchanges, but those are against guys we know he's supposed to win those exchanges with. But I feel like the moment he does get that test, that's what I'm saying, Sam. I'm begging you to be that test because I want to see like what is he really going to do? Because for real, like I don't like when he has exchanges. I like when he gets off his combination and he moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think that his placement is just spot on. Like I've never seen a guy with his placement outside of Bud, because you know I watch him spar, I done watched him fight, I done seen him do a lot. So again, like his punch placement is for real, like major. Like it's big. It's a real key factor. And then yeah, his weakness is just those flurries and exchanges. I think that he's so successful when he's jabbing, when he's throwing something after the jab and getting out of there and pivoting, you know, circling. You know, I think his footwork is amazing too, but yeah, I think that the punch placement that he got is just crazy.
What's your answer, buddy?
Yeah, what's yours for real?
I think his strength is I was gonna say accuracy. I was gonna say his accuracy. You know, he's one of the most accurate punchers, and As far as the weakness, I think it's gonna sound weird. I don't know if it's the punch resistance. I can't say it's the punch resistance. It's just that I think that he's not gonna be in this weight class for that long. So I think that right now he's a little more vulnerable because I think he can really be at 40, where he'll really be more of himself, where he ain't cutting nothing away, because he's like right there, like on the verge of not being a 35 or really being a 40. But when he get that little extra cushion, man, he gonna be able to open up even more. I think he has to be a little more cautious right now because he's cutting. So when he coming in there, he's been a little bit more tighter and he's being more cautious because I don't think that's the scary part. I don't think he's at his strength. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say it's punch resistance, but I think it has something to do with, I think he fights a little tight in the beginning because he can't open up, because I think he on the verge of going to 40, man. But it ain't really a weakness. I haven't seen many weaknesses. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's why both my categories were more broad, because all of his weaknesses are attributed to him not having that many fights, and he still needs to learn. His greatest assets still come off the fact that, because of that patience, it allows him to see those openings and angles and say, okay, I'm gonna give you this, but then as soon as you give me that, boom, see, you was completely exposed. So that's what attributes to his accuracy. So, like, I couldn't deny both of you guys' points. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're the first things that I think of, but I wanted my answer to be more broad, like, because there is so much room for him to grow.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And in that growth, we're gonna see what's actually there. Now, for me, 140, I'm kind of like, I don't want to see Abdullah do the step-by-step thing. I just want to see him go, all right, you did your thing at 35, you made your statement, you made your opening statement. Now get to whereas the weight cut and the rehydration is all within, a 25-pound bracket.
Word.
So between your weight cut, you're going to lose 10 to 12 pounds, and in your rehydration, you're going to only rehydrate to where you're still within a 25-pound bracket, if that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? To me, it's basically saying, get ahead of the game to where you think your fighting weight is going to be. You feel what I'm saying? Where you finally kind of like think you're going to land your plane, get somewhere in that, and then make your campaign. Because as we watch you grow and take out more and more of those competitions, we can say now you're one of those guys that we're going to give the reigning champion definition to. Because right now, we don't really have any reigning champions at any division. And that's something I think American boxing needs to come back, because UK boxing has some reigning champions, but American boxing, we ain't got no reigning champions like that.
Yeah. I mean, it will, he got the skills to pay the bills. I mean,
definitely do.
He might hit a growth spurt. He might. I mean, he's only 21, man. He got so much time to grow. He got at least another 4 more years that he's definitely going to grow another 4 more years. So I think he's going to be perfect at welterweight. But with the way them guys are and like the people that are shrinking down for welterweight, I just think until he come into his body, that's a little risky, but he got the skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think his father is smart, his team is smart. I think that they're going to guide him the right way. I just don't want to see him be like we saw him with that guy who fought Rolly. And this is how I know. This is how I know he got real power. That dude went the distance with Rolly, and Abdullah came in there. I think he stopped him in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
He had went the distance
Yeah,
with Rolly. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And yeah, so I was like, this dude is cracking. He ain't. That's why when people be talking about somebody else and they be talking about man strength and all this, it's like, man, this dude 21 years old. He ain't even got his man strength. He just knows how to punch. Like he knows
yeah.
the
That's that
correct way to
placement
deliver a punch. He's surgical. He's accurate. You could tell
for real.
he trains. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that he just picked up. And they're letting them go against people like that. Like they've been stepping them up the right way. So
Yeah. And that's
I
why
think he's serious.
for me, I honestly, I may be on the opposite side with you on this one because I think if he fucks around that 40 and still making weight cuts, it's a lot more, for me, it's a lot more likely that some of those guys at 40, you know what I'm saying? They're not the guys that are really shrinking down like that. Some of those guys are like, you know, really 140 pounders. You know what I'm saying? That fight close to their weight, and you being who you are, you feel what I'm saying? You could crack with them, but for me at 47, those dudes who might be weight bullies, they got to come down to meet your skill set, your youth, and your accuracy. So them shrinking down is not a good look for them facing you, because you're coming up. They're shrinking down a lot of weight to where some of those guys should be at 160, should be,
Yeah.
you know, even fucking around at 168. So at the end of the day, they shrinking down to fuck with you, and you're growing into something. It's not a good look for them. The numbers and the physics for me is not good for them because you're relying on your ability to rehydrate. He's relying on his ability to just fulfill the task. So for me, I'm just like 40 for me, and Abdullah Mason might be a little bit scary. At least for me, I think it's a little bit more scary. It's more of a high risk thing because 40 is deep, and we keep saying that whole entire division is on any given night. If you want to cut your teeth up there in that, in that gladiator school, hey, Abdullah, cut your teeth up there. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't know if you should linger up there. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think 47 has enough talent of where everybody's at that you can come back and grow into that. And there's some decent fights that, even though you're younger, you feel what I'm saying? I would still be excited to see, an Abdullah Mason and a Tiger Johnson, and Abdullah Mason and Polanco, Abdullah Mason and some of these other young guys that are young, hungry dudes. You feel what I'm saying? But y'all kind of like all in the same category, but Abdullah is just in a lower weight class.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's kind of like a good problem to have. It's just, we gotta wait and see what his handlers do with him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, I wouldn't argue, man, that he could go to 47. You know what I'm saying? His team would know better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and me too.
He got the skills to pay the bills. I just know that once you get a title, I mean, you could do what Boots did if you want, but I don't think Abdullah ain't gonna move like that. You know what I'm saying? Abdullah ain't gonna move like that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be trying to do the tune-up central. He ain't gonna be moving up and trying to dip his foot and then get his shin and then get up to his knee and then let half his thigh and then, maybe the hip. He ain't gonna do that. He gonna be fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like he one of them guys where you might gotta protect him from himself, and the fact that he's so young, you gotta move him right. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
You
he did that at
right.
35. He did the dip my toe in and then my knee and my shin and everything. I think he's doing that all at 35. So by the time he moves up, he gonna want some real smoke.
Yeah.
You feel
You
what
got
I'm saying?
Schofield turned him down. You can say what you want, but like I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna touch on that one right now. But
Yeah, he a little tender, man. He a little soft.
you know, I don't know, man. He got a big future. I wanted to do this, man, but there's some other things that happened. Like because we got this, I was gonna do this. Everybody want to talk about this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that shit is classic. I can't get over that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Brian Norman.
And Body,
I low-key want to ride with Brian Norman, y'all.
Body, this guy that was just on
Fuck never Haiti.
There was this dude that pulled up on Pop's joint, this DT or something like that. I forgot his name, but he was saying that he spoke with Brian Norman's manager, the white lady and stuff like that. I don't want to disrespect her and just call it a white lady, but I honestly don't remember your name. You know what I'm saying? No slight to you. I respect you because in that whole situation, I saw you throwing hands. So I got respect for that lady. So at the end of the day, dude said he had spoke to her, and that situation was right after they got through recording the face-off thing. You see them on the arrival and everything is cordial, and then you wonder, what happened in between that made them, start beefing like that. Because on one thing you see them happy, giving a handshake, and then the next thing you see them, like beefing, and the way they approached each other, you could tell that there was some hostility. And they were saying that Bill was really, really pissed off at the fact that Brian Norman had got the best of him in that face-off jump-off. So they tried that bullshit as a form of intimidation and stuff like that. And the way he was saying when he spoke to her on his live and everything, she just explained it all. That listen, that was Devin Haney and them that incited that whole situation, because they didn't like the fact that Brian Norman got the best of him in that face-off interview, and Bill was pissed off at that. So they was trying to confront him on some intimidation shit, and the Normans just wasn't having it.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna front, man. I damn near want to go with Brian Norman, but I'm gonna stay with my pick. Brian Norman got to make me a believer.
What made you? What got you flirting with changing over though?
Just the way the man is speaking. He's serious about this fight, yo. He not like, I don't know. He's dead ass serious though. He's not like just taking a check. Like he's really trying to walk away with his belt. And I'm really starting to see that. Yeah,
Jolene Mazone. Yeah. No disrespect.
I'm really starting to see he not taking no shit with Devin. Like he really feel like he could beat Devin, and I'm starting to see like, okay, like you're not talking all these flashy diamonds and fast cars, and you really not wearing no chains. That is a regular white OT. Okay, okay, so. I'm starting to really feel like
$3 to $5 t-shirt you could buy in a bodega here in Brooklyn.
Man.
Yeah, everybody flipped out because Devin said, look, I didn't want to say this, but he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is like, I told y'all. Then Captain Obvious, Tim Bradley, came out and said the same thing. I'm like, man, don't act like you don't be watching the videos, Tim. Don't act like you don't be peeping the game, man. Because Captain Obvious came out and said what has already been stated, that the man has not learned his lesson. He's going in there saying the same thing, and Tim said, "You call him a bum?" He's like, "You can't see. You ain't learned from Ryan. You ain't learned from all that stuff you were talking." I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm trying to tell y'all, he's still that same script. He did not learn his lesson, man. Part of it's like you trying to psych somebody out, but that shit work on like young people that like are questioning themselves. That shit don't work on people like Brian Norman, like where this is what he's been doing. Like this is not a happenstance. His father was an actual boxer, so it's in his genes. Like, and this is what he's been doing. Like, this ain't first generation. That shit is not gonna work. Like, you trying to get in somebody's head like that. He don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah, because he know who he is. That's why you can't get in this dude's head. Like I was saying before, they read the room before they even got in the car. While the car was in the driveway warming up, they knew exactly what the room was like. You feel what I'm saying? So when they went there, they knew your answers before you knew your answers. They knew the questions before you knew the questions. They completely read the room because they like, listen, they gonna get at us with all the stupid shit talking points. On our side, most of the questions are gonna be rebuttals to the negative talking points. So you know that's how they're gonna interview you. For him, they're gonna interview him with everything being based off of what's old boy name? Rugaroo. I can't remember his actual
Regis.
yeah, the Regis Prograis fight. Everything they're gonna ask you is off of the Regis Prograis performance, because they're trying to say Regis is a better boxer than you. So long as you understand that, whatever the fuck this dude is gonna say, you got the answer for it already. And Brian Norman addressed it. He said, yeah, they said I didn't have defense, so to speak. I ain't got footwork. I only got power. I only got this. But look at who I'm getting ready to fight. The great Devin Haney. So he shitted on him right then and there. I was like, oh my God, the first.
Yeah, it's like you can't match wits with the dude. The dude, he younger than you, but he's a little sharper than you. Then he said, stop using. He's like, listen, man, that's Floyd whole stuff, man. He's like, use your own stuff, and that pissed Devin off. That was
And
like,
yeah,
he got it in
That
his
hit
head.
below the belt.
here's the thing. Why it pissed Devin off so much is because Devin's upbringing, where Devin lives, the house he grew up in. You looking at this slow ass country dude trying to outsmart you, and said some slick shit that did outsmart you over and over again. That's why you went to that derogatory shit and invited another grown ass man to the frame stand, and that grown ass man told you. He said, listen, all that shit ain't necessary. I gave you your respect. But you just ain't got enough to beat me because you don't know who the fuck you are. And Dev was like, oh my God, this country ass, backwater Atlanta ass, grits, barbecue shack ass eating motherfucker just told me who the fuck I'm not? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Suck my dick. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the part that tickled me pink. Because it was like, bro, that's one of them situations where you got checked so bad that you immediately started to sweat. I wish they had a perspirant meter up under that nigga arms, you feel what I'm saying, to show how fast his body temperature went up when he just got checked like that. And now you a fucking meme. That Floyd Mayweather meme and how they got Brian Norman with the pause, and then you see the mathematics calculating and everything. And then Floyd say exactly what you said, the way you said it, and how he said it. And then this man said, yeah, save those clips, run that shit back. Bro, you got to be yourself, brother. I was like, oh, and he ended it off with the brother. Oh, that's clear disrespect. When the country nigga call you brother, bro, it's a rap, man. They got zero respect for you. Zero.
And guess what, man? All of the people that we talking about between this young man and these two young men, they already all over there, man, getting acclimated, man.
Yep.
They all over there getting acclimated, man. So hopefully they don't, hopefully their bodies are good and they getting adjusted, you know what I'm saying? So they got over there. Ain't no last minute. Even though Adamas, he had a hard time getting over there. He went over there a little later than what I thought, and he didn't have no problem with Hamza. But I was glad that them guys are over there. They're getting And it's like 9 fights on that card. I didn't realize it was 9 fights, man.
Yeah.
Where
But
what I wanted.
go ahead.
Oh, okay, man. Appreciate you. What I wanted to say is though, Devin really gotta, get it together for sure. Like, I just don't think that Devin is good at talking. He might be good at fighting, but he's really not good at talking. He's never been good at talking. I've never seen a time where I feel like Devin talked well there, or he said this well here, or I've always been irritated with him and his dad and how they talk. So, I think Brian Norman has always had that talking stuff, but excuse me. I just feel like we're really going to see what happens in these next couple of weeks. I really, really would like to see Devin Haney, reclaim the reign of being champion, this, that, and the third, but I don't know, man. This Brian Norman kid is starting to make me open up my eye a little bit more and more each and every day. By weigh-in, I don't know who I'm going with for sure. Though. By the weigh-ins, I'm gonna know.
Nah, I've been where you've been at, bro. I've been where you've been at on many a fights. Like the more it gets closer and closer, I'm like, did I make the right decision? Did I actually make the right decision on this one? Because I gave a lot of great talking points, but right now, the closer we getting, I don't know. This dude got me questioning, whether my pick was right, and it sometimes come down to those little tangibles at the end of the day. I get you where you like, you know what? I just want to see the weigh-ins and stuff like that. But I'm gonna say it like this, boom.
Yo.
If Devin Haney goes to push Brian Norman, he's intimidated like a motherfucker by Brian Norman. He is actually scared. You feel what I'm saying? Because he needs that last thing to try to get in Brian Norman's head. So he's going to try to push him based on this, and then based on that situation, based off the face-off, based off now he's a meme off the face-off type thing. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna be some weird shit going on. So I'm kind of expecting a little mayhem at the weigh-ins, and I'm expecting that mayhem to really start from the Devin Haney side of things and stuff like that. And if it goes down, I'm like, yeah, this is why they keep talking negative about that dude, because they worried. This is why the narrative is being put out about this guy, is because they've been worried since day one.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying? You tried to say, no, I only took the fight because I can beat him. But if you go ahead and you do something like that, I might start to like really buy into the fact that you had no choice but to take this fight. This fight wasn't a fight you wanted by no means necessary, you or Bill. And in order for you to get where you trying to get, this is the fight you had to take. You feel what I'm saying? It's that grass, cash your ass shit. Nobody rides free, and it's time for you guys to pay up. So at the end of the day, if you go ahead and you do something like that, then I'm gonna say I'm gonna start to go with that narrative and those talking points of saying, yeah, bro, you had to take this fight, and now you're terrified. Because the closer we are, you're trying to do something to build yourself with confidence. So you want to get that push off to make you feel like, did you see the way I pushed him? Yeah, them niggas can't fuck with us. I pushed the shit out of him. He can't fuck with us. And I think that's what, if you do something like that, that's what that's going to tell me. I'm not going to be like, oh shit, they're ready. He feeling himself. No, I'm not going to do none of that. Be like, yeah, that's a sign of fear.
I'm definitely not going to think, go ahead.
All that's gonna do is create content for people afterwards, man. He don't need to do all of that, man. But
yeah, for real. That's what I was gonna say. Is I definitely don't agree with Devin to do the push. If Devin does do the push, I'm gonna think the slightest bit of him. Like, I'm not even gonna think he's ready anymore. But I would just like to see him carry and handle himself professional, so we can have a great event come Saturday in Riyadh season.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really just expecting a spectacular fight card from all these guys, but it's just this fight in particular, man. Ooh, I don't know who to lean with, you know. So,
What you
Shakur
think about
and
this, Boom?
not even close, bro. Not 50-50 at all. It's more like 70-30.
This is the
Shakur.
great Roy Jones who said this.
Nah, bro. Let me know what successful fighter he got,
Who?
Roy.
What?
You heard me straight up.
No, but we already know. This is why I say we already know as far as Roy and the training, like it don't work for his guys because his guys be trying to act like Roy, like that. Like that's why we don't want Earl to go over there and mess with him because we know he ain't. You know, Roy could get away. All of the greats, even Floyd, he can get away with things physically, like backing straight back. Floyd was one of the people that I seen do it so many times, but because he got cat-like reflexes and he had that high IQ, he could back straight out every time. There was nothing you can do. But the average person couldn't do that. That's how Roy could do shit to where it's like you try that shit if you want to, you're gonna get caught.
That they
And I
don't
think
say
that's
about
why his fighters have problems.
But the thing that they don't say about him is he used to get hit a lot, bro. Like, Roy wasn't that slick like it seemed to be. He just could move on his feet. But that nigga was getting hit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Roy cannot sit here and try to train Earl, man. Like, I'm sorry, man. That's terrible, bro.
You think the same thing? You think Roy is off on this too, AC?
To a certain degree. Let me just answer it like this. Do I think he was off? No. For the simple fact that when you look at both fighters, right, and you ask yourself, who has faced the greater level of competition? Who has faced the level of competition where they didn't have all the advantages? Who do you pick as far as really stepping up to the plate, regardless if they have questionable wins, but you can definitely see a pattern between two persons' questionable wins or questionable losses or whatever. Tio doesn't strike me as a person that does not like to get hit. You feel what I'm saying? Tio will be willing to take a punch to deliver one of his punches. Teofimo Lopez, when you look at some people that he faced, even though the Loma fight was a loss, he still got a Lomachenko on his resume. You feel what I'm saying? He also has the Kambosos fight on his resume, and people could say what they want to say about Kambosos, but you feel what I'm saying? Kambosos, I mean, not Loma wasn't a loss. Loma was a win, and Kambosos was the loss. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand you.
And at the end of the day, for me, I contribute that loss because it's one of those things that you can clearly see when Teofimo has the highest level of competition. That dude shows up and shows out. If the competition is not really there, he's gonna do some weird, goofy shit and not really prepare for the fight. And we've seen classic fighters do that, and this is why some of these classic fighters had 4 and 5 losses on their record. They were 4 and 5 losses that if you would have just took the fight serious, you would have won that fight. And I felt that way about, my guy James Toney when it came down to Roy Jones. I was like, he's gonna destroy Roy Jones. Like, he could stand in the pocket with the Philly shell and a shoulder roll and don't have to be on the ropes looking all tall and crazy with the face. He just stands right there in front of you, ducks and does the whole complete thing and you still can't hit him. And he's talking shit to you, and then he'll piece you up. So for me, it was just like, bro, if you would have taken that fight serious, you're still a great, you're still a legend, you're still a Hall of Famer, but it was an unnecessary loss. You feel what I'm saying? And it was more of your attitude that fed into that loss. When it comes down to some of these other fighters that are trying to do the same thing, I'm just like, I don't know, bro. I don't really know I just don't know. And that's where I'm just gonna end it right there.
What I'm gonna just add to AC because I agree with him. Just the one thing is not the I just only part I don't agree with is when he said no because it's really not no 50-50 fight. I think AC giving me a hard time, y'all. So don't mind him. What I do want to say is though it's a good fight, stylistically, but again, I'm not a fan of this fight due to the fact that Shakur, you need to go ahead and rack up weight classes and do your thing. But when I say rack up weight classes, I mean like rack up the entire division, grab the ring, grab all these belts, do what you need to do, and then move up. As far as I'm concerned, though, Tio, the credit that he don't get needs to be given. He has the resume. He fought Kambosos, Josh Taylor, what's his name, Lomachenko. Yeah, he has a resume, and if him and Shakur are really fighting, like, because I haven't seen the fight card, I haven't seen the venue, I haven't seen nothing, so I'm
You cut out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this in perspective. In my opinion, why I think it's also a 50-50 fight. He's a 2-division lineal champion. He faced actual 2 lineal champions. You feel what I'm saying? So he's shown in those fights that he can step up to the level of beating the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. You feel what I'm saying? For me, when you have 2 lineal champions on your belt and you also are a 2-division champion, you feel what I'm saying? When I look at the experience, the talking points of who's got the edge and experience, I got to give it to Teofimo Lopez. I can't give it to Shakur because at many times we question Shakur because he's had all the advantages. Just like Devin Haney has had the majority of advantages. And, I don't know if Shakur has ever been in a fight where people was like, nah, I don't know if he wins that fight. I'm not 100%. He wins that fight.
Right.
And it was the type of fight where Shakur was saying, yeah, he's a very tough opponent. Just expect me to show y'all something that y'all never seen before. He just says it nowadays as a talking point, but we haven't seen that actual guy. And Teofimo might be that guy depending on what Teofimo shows up.
Yeah, I always know, when you ask certain questions, I know Boom, he kind of got a relationship, you know what I'm saying, somewhat. So just a little, especially like when you work with somebody and you've been in there, you kind of see things a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to question because there was a report out that this was done, and then they asked Tio the other night at the fight, and he was like, well, hopefully I'm like, I don't know why. Because if you're going to have any kind of momentum or want people to even try to plan like for anything or do anything or bookmark some money for something or even prepare for it, you kind of want that information out. So it's kind of, I'm like, why did they say it was a done deal?
Yeah.
So I'm back to questioning whether we are getting it or not.
Now, to caveat off of what you're saying, just within the last 24 hours, I've been hearing this talk of Keyshawn and Richardson Hitchens are supposed to be in talks and stuff like that. So for me, it's like, okay, the Teofimo fight was taken away from Hitchens and given to Shakur if they're actually going to get it across the finish line. When I looked at the rankings and they're talking about this Hitchens versus Keyshawn fight, does it fit the bill of when Hitchens was saying he was looking for a big fight? Yeah, kind of. But the problem is that you know, Keyshawn is nowhere in your rankings. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're gonna do that, Keyshawn is sitting at the number 1 spot for Teofimo Lopez. I don't know how that weird ass dynamic works out, and you feel what I'm saying? Because Shakur wants to do this thing, it's like fucking up the movement of that division.
Yeah, man. I called that so long ago. I said we gotta stop this, man, because it's going to add a wrinkle. The fact that he's cool with Richardson Hitchens, and he was already friends with Keyshawn, and then Keyshawn moved up without, like, it's just, if you was going to do this, man, you should have stayed in the vein of the WBC, which would lead you to Subriel Matias. I mean, that would be the logical thing, but it's a mess, man. Like now, and it's starting to get sloppy. I wanted to bring up a couple of things because I heard basically Keyshawn got kicked out the whip, man, and they kicked Keyshawn, the LDBC, the leader, the mascot of the LDBC, Oscar the Grinch, basically kicked Keyshawn out the whip, and they did it for Frank Martin. Now, because I've been told everybody that this what was going on. Now they see this fight, they see this big fight getting ready to happen, right? They see this going on, and I believe that they're a little nervous. And this is what was going on, because they was vying. So I see a lot of flip-floppery, right? The mascot basically came out and said that Eddie, peep this, AC. He said that Eddie was being a bodyguard for Andy Cruz, protecting Andy Cruz from Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw some of that shit, and I just was like, I ain't even clicking on that.
Look, I ain't even click on it. I ain't even click. I'm like, you trying to do what I be doing as far as these movie titles, but he sucks at it, and even the thumbnails and how he's trying to do it, but he sucks at it. Like, it's gonna take him a while to catch up to how I be doing it. It don't look as good, and he be missing like a motherfucker. It'd be a stretch. I'm like, now all of a sudden, but peep this. So now we might well change that Keyshawn over here on the right, change that over to Frank Martin, because Frank Martin got a fight coming up, and I know they be watching. I know they be peeping the content, because guess what? He used the same image of Frank that's right. I mean, yeah, the same image of Frank that's right here, and he called him his dark horse. Yeah, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, it don't get you saw it. It don't get no worse than that, AC. That's why I be trying to say, man. I'm like, now you going, like, just, I don't know, man. Talking about that's his dark horse now. Like, all of a sudden, like, you running out of information, like, you running out of material, because the only reason why you would even say that Eddie was playing a bodyguard was because I came out with that elephant in the matchroom thing. And so now all of a sudden Eddie, like, AC, I ain't no genius, bro. But when did Eddie ever protect fucking, like, wasn't we pushing, like, we was asking, like, when did Eddie ever protect Andy Cruz from Shakur Stevenson? I've never heard Shakur win.
See, here's the thing. I said on other heavy Shakur supporting channels, you know, I said, listen, if Keyshawn is too terrified to fight Andy Cruz, why don't Big Bro come over and handle that? Because he just can't seem to beat this dude. So why don't Big Bro give him the blueprint on how to beat this dude? You feel what I'm saying? Because Keyshawn ain't got no problem fighting the dude that lost before. You feel what I'm saying? So Big Bro beat him up, give you the blueprint to beat him up. Y'all play the game, people will forget about it, and then right before the fight, they'll start to bring that up. Yeah, Shakur beat him before. Now let's see what Keyshawn do. Let's see what Lil Bro do. Just like they're asking for Big Bro and Lil Bro to fight Bud Crawford. So at the end of the day, I'm like, okay. When it comes down to that, and I said that, dude was like, oh man, that makes no sense. The dude only got such and such fight. That's Keyshawn work. That's Keyshawn level. That's Keyshawn level. I said, yeah, but Keyshawn can't beat the dude. So why not Shakur beat the better guy that keep beating up his little brother? Nah, bro. See, that's like, nah. You gotta let that man develop and do this. If Shakur get on him right now, it's yada yada yada. I said I wouldn't know, because at the end of the day, you're automatically assuming, and we haven't seen the fight. And I'm trying to ask y'all, why is this such a bad fight?
They are musty as hell, because I've been asked that question. Like when I did the elephant in the matchroom, I said, why not? I'm like, well, the same way when Boots signed up over there with Matchroom, and we were like, okay, well, shit, somewhere down the line, we might be seeing a comment. Man, I was like, well, since Shakur signed up over there, since Keyshawn won't fight him, why? I mean, was there ever going to be talks? He was the gold medalist. It was quiet. Like you could hear Moss pissing on cotton.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, we drew them parallels. We drew them parallels way before. I'm trying to figure out, when in the world did Eddie protect Andy?
Yeah.
It was not even a conversation. Like Shakur, I mean, unless I've been Mandela affected, Shakur has never vied for that smoke. Even when Andy came out and shook both of them hands, that was the night when Tito Mercado basically called them both B's.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I know this B right here, I know he ain't gonna fight me because he too pussy. And they didn't say nothing, and Keyshawn didn't even want to shake his hand.
Yeah, because Keyshawn was smiling at him. Shakur was smiling at him, had both of his hands in his sweatshirt pocket, and then took them shits out and gave him the handshake and put the other hand over it, like, yeah, what's good, bro? You feel what I'm saying? And then looked over like at Keyshawn, like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? He right there. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. What that tells me is that conversation that we having online was a conversation that may have never happened between Shakur, because the energy was different. The energy was like, oh, this little dude nice, and he the one who keep beating up Keyshawn. So yo, Key, he right there. What's good? Let me see your energy. You feel what I'm saying? Shit that a big brother would do. You feel what I'm saying? And then Keyshawn turned around and give him that little. I'm like, bro, that shit looks so suspect, man. That was so corny. Like, nah, man. I'd have probably looked at him and been like, puñeta maricón. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I'm like, man, and like when it comes to content, people be reaching for straws. I'm like, man, yeah, all that talent, so to speak, quote unquote, and this is all you can come up with. I'm like, man, that's entertainment at its finest. But this is the last thing I want to say, man, before we close, man. Because I think we did a good job. You know, I wanted to give Abdullah his spotlight, but I want to say this, man. It's been a lot like developing here after the pretty much the hangover from the Virgil Ortiz and Lubin fight, and it's kind of weird because like everybody want to be hindsight at 2020. I swear I was trying to tell everybody, man, don't get your hopes all high, because we're dealing with Eddie and we're dealing with Oscar. Now, Oscar, I swear I told everybody, man, listen, man, we're dealing with Oscar. It is not a foregone conclusion that just because Boots show up, just because that's what their plan was, that it's going to be him and Virgil next. Now, it can be said that since you invited that man in the ring and he told you, you know what time it is, and I'm gonna make everybody pay, that if that don't go down, you can be labeled. It used to be a drink we used to get. It was called Andre. and they had a flavor. It was called Cold Duck. That could be Andre Cold Duck.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was a nice little bubbly beverage, like flavorful. You know what I'm saying? That could be that. That could be said. But my whole thing was this: what I said originally, and this is the chickens coming home to roost. When you made that announcement, when you did that thing to Brian Norman 3 weeks out from the gym fight, and then the day before you jump up, when you did that and you announced that, because remember, you guys turned down that deal saying, no, I'm going to stay at 47 to get undisputed. So they can say, listen, man, we offered you the deal. Like this would have been us. You didn't do it because you said you want to stay and be undisputed. Then you decided that you wanted to jump up. I love the energy going to the fight. That shows that you really, really want it. You went out there, you got in the ring, you confronted them. You did everything you're supposed to do, Boots. The only thing is you and your team, I would say Eddie, in the way that he manages and maneuvers, he is steering you wrong, Boots. He is steering you wrong, man. Y'all are too, I always say this. You can never count on a fight happening, especially, see, y'all under the same umbrella. Y'all basically on the same stage, the same platform. Y'all not, that's like the Locks and Rough Riders. Y'all all on the stage, but y'all not managed by the same people. So people from the Locks can't dictate what, let's just say Dipset. Y'all on the same stage. Y'all doing a battle. Y'all doing a versus. You can't dictate what they're doing over there on that side because they're not run, like they're run by a whole different group of people.
Yeah.
So Boots did everything he needed to do to show the energy and show that you wanted and show this and show. That's wonderful. All of that's good. You can't like be upset because you all counted on 2 birds in the bush instead of 1 in the hand. Y'all should already had the 1 in the hand. Now, the thing is this. A lot of people are coming down on Virgil for saying that Spence is his dream fight and this and this and that. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird. It sounds kind of awkward. It sounds like you want a guy that's been inactive. It sounds like a guy that you just seen get tore out the frame by Bud. It sounds like, you know, you want a guy because it's a name and you know it's big money. That's the business side talking. Okay, cool. Some people can understand that. That's the business, right? But this is the thing. If Oscar and them are saying, we got all the leverage and we want 10 mil and all this, Eddie and them got to stop letting people deter them from that, because this is the way I see it. They've been known for sending out a lot of lowball offers to people. They lowball. But my whole thing is this. I'm like, do either side really want to fight? Now, I know Boots did what he's supposed to do. So Boots, like right now, like Boots, I'm gonna let off of Boots because Boots showed all the energy. That's what we want. We want you to get in the ring and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make you pay. I'm gonna do all that. He talked all that gangster. Like, that's, gotta salute Boots for doing that. That's the kind of energy we want. Being vocal, he was energetic. He started coming out of his shell. He was hyper. I'm like, okay, this is the Boots. This is the side of Boots everybody been wanting to see. But this is the thing. Eddie and them can't hide behind the fact that people be wanting 10 mil. They said the same thing about Mel. Oh, Mel want 10 mil. He don't really want to fight. Oh, now Virgil, they want 10 mil. They don't want to fight. They overpriced themselves. It's called negotiation.
Yeah.
You start off like absurd. Like you start off, you can't just, oh man, he want 10 mil. He don't want to fight. Okay, well, it ain't 10 mil, but you got to say, all right, well, shoot, man, we can give you a solid 5. Nah, man, they got to be at least 8. Oh, nah, man, we can give you 5.5. Nah, man, they got to at least be 7.5. All right, we'll give you 6. All right, deal. We got a deal at 6. Like, that's how negotiation, like, so all these people, it baffles me how everybody just stuck because it was this instant content for people to be able to come out and be like, oh, man, they want 10 mil. Mel asked for 10 mil. So what? Negotiate. Virgil and them saying, oh, it's 10 mil off the rip. They basically saying, listen, man, if we get a venue down here, like, we're going to pretty much guarantee you the money. We're going to break down by the amount of butts we put in these seats out here and how we sell it. We can probably get a nice number. We can probably get some money for this fight. That's all we saying. Like, listen, man, you got Philly. We got this down here. We got Jerry's World. We want 10 mil. So
Yeah,
what they saying they want 10 mil? That don't mean you that means okay, that's where they're starting off in negotiation. It's called negotiations.
yeah,
So negotiate, Eddie. Like
and
no
that was
more
a
we gonna let you off the hook because look at them, they priced themselves out. So Mel priced himself out, and y'all gonna run with that shit. And Virgil priced themselves out, and you gonna run with this shit. But all them times when y'all said that somebody was lowballing, we ain't gonna you didn't let people run with that, even though y'all were lowballing and y'all missed purse bids.
Now I'm this was a debate me and Pop was having, right? And he played certain interviews and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. He was like, and this was the conversation me and you was having, because we had the conversation when the night that they stepped in the ring, and then guess what the fuck happened? Now the talking point of what we said was gonna be the sticking point, everybody's now starting to talk about, because you said it, you called it, you said if Eddie come out and he start talking about, you know, he ain't got no right to be asking for 10 million, you already know it's going to be a lot of bullshit in the game. And that's going to tell you that more than likely this fight ain't going to happen. And what does Eddie Hearn come out and do on Radio Raheem? Well, you know, first of all, you're asking for, you know, Oscar and Virgil are asking for 10 million. It's like, where do you get these numbers from? And I'm like, Eddie, you get those numbers from, look at all the nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, predicate conjunctions. You know, you feel what I'm saying, that you're putting on this fight. Yeah, this is the absolute number one and number two guys, both undefeated, both in their prime. It makes sense right now, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So you're effectively saying that these two guys who don't have a belt, one was unified and got a Ring Magazine belt. This guy's on his third division, still hasn't got a belt. You're saying that the talent pool between these two guys, none of the champions who actually have belts, and talking about unifying, are the caliber or on the level of these two guys. So you're effectively saying that the belts don't matter because all the verbs that I use. So if this is the way you promoting it, why would I be stupid and then say, you know what, I'm good with $4.5 million. No, look at the language you using. That type of language tells me, at the very least, we should be starting at 10 or maybe even 8. Start at 10 and negotiate down to 8.
That's what I mean. Every time I hear somebody say, "Oh man, they overpriced," it's just too convenient when they say, when somebody come out with a high number. If it's something you really want, somebody come out with a high number. If it's something you really want, and you got time and you ain't got nothing else. All right, well, hold on, man. Hold on now. Okay, you serious about that 10 million? You like what? Like, listen, man, this is what we really want. Let's get into the conversation and negotiate. But it's like, oh man, they want 10 million. Oh, fuck that, man. Look at them. They priced themselves out and now I'm leaving. It's like, no, and I keep saying this. I've been saying this now. It feel like a couple years now. It feel like a couple years, at least 2 now. I'm like, with a commodity like boots. Because I heard like when that time when I was doing boots videos and Bozy was like, man, like 16 people, like at one point in time, 16 people turned down boots. I was like, golly. I was like, man, how can we get this dude to fight, or what's going on? And you know what I realized? I was like, man, Eddie, they're gonna have to figure out a way to get people in the ring. I was like, they're not gonna take a Happy Meal to get in there. That's a stark reality. When you got somebody that could possibly make you a meme, put you out, give you a concussion, like he could very much do what Jamel did to Lubin to somebody. He could. So people are looking at that like, listen, man, like, because you had this hot commodity, we are not in an era now where people do it like back in the day, where people just say like what Bud did with Canelo. If he did that really for 10 mil, while Canelo was getting upwards of 100 or whatever he got, that's like, people are not doing that. Like, we're not in that era is gone. Like, people are not in this. Like, as a fan, I'm just explaining this. Now, I want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the fight, but like this cannot go over all of our heads. And this is why I said don't get sucked up into this conversation, you know what I'm saying, by these people that's gonna be stuck on this 10 mil. They knew years ago when 16 people turned down Boots, they knew people ain't gonna get in there for a 3-piece, you know what I'm saying, with a side of fries in a Capri Sun or a orange soda, a Sunkiss. They not doing that. And people are not doing it. They not going, because right now there is no hardware. Like, because even if you beat them, it's like, yeah, I was the first one to put a blemish on Boots, but what did I get? I got fucked up in the process. Like, because you can beat him and still get fucked up, and you don't even have no hardware. So it's like, at the very least, you're gonna want some bread. Like, that's why it baffles me how people are still out here doing content, and it's like it's a lot of people out here that I deem is just being lazy. It's like you know this is a good point. You know people are frustrated. You know people want to see it. Okay, cool. But use your brain. Stop leading fans around by the nose, or people that want to sit around and listen by the nose, because you can't take it a step further. You gotta have, like, Boots and them gotta start putting their foot in Eddie's ass, saying, Eddie, listen, bro. I'm doing my job. I'm spiking motherfuckers out here. I'm putting the Beats by Dre down. I got my audiences out here. I got my fan base. Like, okay, cool. I was fighting before I got with you. You are the promoter. You have the purse. And then guess what else you have?
You got that.
This is what else you have, AC. Listen. Where's this guy at? AC? Yeah. Like, where's this guy when you need him? Remember he had this, remember he had all of this money.
Yeah, one of the talking
he had
points.
The big bag. It's like, okay, so ain't this the case? Okay, so that should have been like, you should have perked up. Like,
one of the talking points. If I was
Eddie, listen, let me just say this one last thing.
Go ahead, my bad.
Let me say this one last thing, AC. Let me say this one last thing, and you can have it. When Oscar came out and was like, I want 10 mil. If I was Eddie, if I was this guy, the guy on the left, I would have got a chubby. You know why? 10 mil. 10 mil, bruv. Okay, bruv. Stay right there. Hey, Sheik, we got one. All this motherfucker want, he just want 10. All he need is 10 mil. When can we book this? When should I tell him? When is the fight date? You see what I'm saying? That's how I know people they want to get caught up in the gossip and the drama, but where's the sugar daddy? Like the guy who said, oh no, call me when you don't want tune-up, when you want big fights, call me. You know what I'm saying? Call me one big fight. Well, this is a big fight.
Now, it goes into the talking point of saying, again, a $10 million price that this fighter is asking for, and he's one of the 2 dance partners that you guys that put all of these big words, the super fight, the fight of the year, you're saying this is, excuse me, you're saying this is the fight of the year over what we just saw a couple of months ago or a month ago. You're saying this fight, huh?
You talking about the fight in September?
Yeah, between Bud and Canelo. You're saying this fight is actually bigger than that fight because you're saying this is the biggest fight in boxing. You feel what I'm saying? You're not saying it's the biggest fight in boxing after that. You're saying it's just hands down the biggest fight in boxing of this year. And I've heard Eddie say that twice. So I'm like, both you and Oscar are saying that. So what's wrong with this kid asking for 10 million? In the comparison of the language that you're using, 10 million is actually a fair number. It's a fair value number to the language that's being used. You guys are hyping this shit up like that. Neither one of them have a belt. You feel what I'm saying? You have a former champion and a guy who hasn't been champion yet. So at the end of the day, maybe you might want to tone down the language and everything, but for me, Turk told you. You know what I'm saying? Again, repeating you. When you have a big fight, come and see me.
Yeah.
Oscar doesn't make this fight for Virgil, and I'm a person that honestly believes Virgil wants this fight. Boots wants this fight. You feel what I'm saying? On Virgil's half, if Oscar doesn't make the fight, being that Virgil did what he did and said what he said and following what Roy Jones just said, no, we don't want to hear about Errol Spence. We don't want to hear about nothing else because you called that man up, you righted him into the ring, and you said this has to happen now. Y'all said bet. When Boots was like, I'll bet you, and he was like, but you ain't said nothing but let's fight. And then Boots said, you know what, let's fight. And then both of y'all said, let's do it. And you shook on that. That's a real agreement. You could take that shit to court because we saw it in open. We heard the open commitment. All you got to do now is put the paperwork in order because now you hold this man in a position to whereas he has to live up with that. His promoter has to get that thing across the line. And for the next day or about an hour or 15, 20 minutes, whatever after that, you talking about this other stuff, that shit is completely irrelevant. You shouldn't have had that man come up in there, agree to a fight, and then shake his hand on that fight.
Yeah, and now Bozy, I seen Bozy, and I feel for Bozy because now he like, man, look, man, he's like, I don't think Virgil didn't want to fight, man. I don't think Virgil didn't want to fight. I'm like, listen, Virgil is a fighter. I think Virgil will fight Boots. But this is what I was trying to. I swear I'll be trying to save people heartache and pain before this shit go down. Because I was saying, listen, bruv, you're dealing with Oscar, man. I gave the analogy about how long it took for Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez to get off the pot, how long it took for Munguia to get off the pot, how long it took for Ryan to get off the pot. And you allowed these people because they were so thirsty and they hitched their trailer to that wagon. And I'm like, why did y'all do that? Like, why did y'all get yourselves into this, getting yourselves all worked up, knowing that somebody couldn't hose you down when you was dealing with Oscar? But the proof is this, Eddie, man. Like I'm gonna stay on this because people are gonna ride this shit because people ain't creative, so they're gonna do content about how Virgil is ducking and how his team ducking. They're gonna do this shit for the next 3 weeks until the fight is announced. This is what they're gonna be talking about. That's gonna be their go-to. And I'm like, man, y'all are gonna be miserable. Y'all gonna have a high blood pressure. Y'all gonna get gout. Y'all gonna have diabetes. Y'all gonna have all of that shit because y'all are stressed the fuck out over some shit that's out of y'all control. But what you can control is you can check the guy who you hire, the guy who pays you the money. Eddie is the one that's sitting you down, giving you up, selling you all these dreams and hyping you up and saying all this contingent upon somebody from another side just because y'all on the same platform. Okay, so what? Y'all perform on the same stage. Okay, so what? There's other people that manage that guy. You cannot dictate what Eddie and what Oscar and them are going to do. That's why I said it's stupid to actually get yourself all caught up, get yourself all worked up in these things, and it's predicated upon some shit that Oscar got to sign off on. I even said that Oscar don't manage the way that he did his career when he was going to the smoke. Why? Because he's wearing a different hat. These are investments. I asked this question 1,000 times. I said, do you really think that they're going to risk Virgil getting obliterated or something happening to Virgil in a situation to fuck him up before he actually get a belt and he's in the fucking Fundora line? So from their perspective, if you don't want to be a dummy, right, and you want to actually critically think, do not let these creators sit up here and manipulate you in your brain and have you arguing about some dumb shit. Because right now, if you put on the business hat, Virgil and them are in the driver's seat. He was the one who had Errol Spence come to the fight. He was the one who had Jermell Charlo come to the fight. Teofimo Lopez come to the fight. Richardson Hitchens and all of them come to the fight. You had the people that was on your undercard and a couple of their family members, but there were no stars at your fight. So right now, they're basically telling you, yeah, they playing a leverage game. You can try to manipulate the media and all that, but all you're going to do is give fans high blood pressure and gout and diabetes because you can't dictate nothing to them. But what you can do is call the sugar daddy. I'm like, this is what I be trying to say. What do Turkey really want the big fight, or do he just want, or did he just give you some blue magic where he gave you that pack and you've been chasing the dragon ever since? So we getting a big card here. We getting a big card with all these Night of Champions and all that. But this is the time where Sheik is like, oh, all he wants is 10 mil. Okay. And how much you want, Boots? Oh, okay, cool. That's what you want? Okay, cool. All right, then. What y'all think about March? Y'all good with that? You good with that? You good with that? All right, cool. Like, where's the pressure on Eddie for selling this dream to Boots? And getting away time after time after time with the whole we don't got enough money. It's like, if you're gonna go on a date, don't you know we going to the Cheesecake Factory? You gotta have Cheesecake Factory money.
Yeah.
You going to Fogo de Chao, you need Fogo de Chao money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going to Roof Chris, you need Roof Chris money. You got Boots. You need Boots money. Like, nobody ain't getting in there for a Happy Meal with Boots. Newsflash, like, and how long y'all gonna send Boots through this and have heartache and pain and try to rub it all in the fans and just spend all this time online talking about somebody's a duck? It don't make no sense. You need Boots money. Y'all need to have a plan because y'all got a commodity. It ain't nobody getting in there for a couple, like 3 wings and some fried rice.
Yeah. A Boots versus Virgil fight, in my opinion, it would be sad if both of them dudes was paid $3 million for the way they talking about this fight, for how long this fight has been cooking. I get for me, I get to whereas Eddie Hearn, if you're looking at the stable itself and you're looking at the stable as a store, he has limited inventory. It's like going to a burger shop that only sells 3 types of burgers. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you don't want to add another special on the menu because then it may take away from the sales of one of the 3 other burgers. And then you're looking at it like, damn, I may have to take this burger off the menu, but there's a solid audience that comes here and talks that constantly requests this burger or even the other 3. So I'm in a situation right now. Do I take it off and then run it as a special? Or do I just replace it and whatever? So you have to make that business decision. Eddie Hearn has a limited stable. In that limited stable is the thought of being involved in what they're going to call this super fight. Is that worth you possibly losing one of your a commodity that you already have? You feel what I'm saying? Something that a lot of people come in every day and you always getting a new bid on. It's like, yeah, I was selling it originally for, 500,000, but now the bids are all the way up into the millions. So I'm looking for the person who comes with the most money, and then, you know what I'm saying, we'll haggle over the price. I'll see if I can get a couple of more pennies or a couple of more commas out of it or zeros, and then I'll heavily consider selling it. You feel what I'm saying? But up until now, I'm just satisfied with taking all offers that might be on the table. And if that's what you're doing with the few commodities that you have left, you're gonna put yourself in the same situation with these commodities that Devin Haney is currently in, where your only choice is going to be somebody that is going to knock, who I call Maidana 2.0 the fuck out, because that's a style that's right up their alley. They're defensively sound. They know how to move their feet. They know how to keep that style on the edge of their jab. And if this man shows up and goes up into that high guard, you feel what I'm saying, where he's playing peekaboo. Every time you peekaboo, guess what? There's a punch, there's an uppercut, a straight, or a jab to split that guard. Or I might do a rake down and then clap you in your fucking face.
Look, you remember when the movie Set It Off?
Yeah.
You remember when she went to him and she was like, "I'm in the bind, Nate." That's how Eddie is. Like, Eddie need to go to Sheik, you know what I'm saying? "I'm in the bind, Nate."
Yeah, but she had to give up them buns.
Exactly. Then you heard her.
And she just looking over at the side like, is this nigga finished yet?
Then she in the shower like.
For real.
Like, hey, but that's the call. Like, this is what I've been trying to say, man. Like, in all honesty, it's messed up because, like, it's messed up because one, Virgil and them, they know the risk. Like Virgil, I ain't saying Virgil is scared of Boots, but they know more than likely they know more than likely Boots gonna obliterate his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the style that's tailor made, and so Eddie knows, man. But it's like, Eddie is in a weird position because remember a couple weeks ago, didn't he just sign somebody named Ben Whitaker?
Yeah.
And then they do the whole play on the show me the money.
Yep.
And so you got all this show me the money when it come down to Ben Whitaker. But the minute somebody say 10 mil, it's like, oh man, and it's like, and that's just gonna be the excuse because you're gonna play on the dumbass casuals. They'll be like, oh man, he outpriced himself because people are so infatuated with just labeling people as ducks when it's like, no, you just did the show me the money shit with Ben Whitaker. You got Turkey, you and Turkey, like you are in good graces with the guy who got all the sugar. Like y'all are in cahoots. So if it's anything above like what you can afford to do, you can always go ask the sugar daddy, the guy who come out and say, hey, I only want the big fights, and you know, no, I don't do tune-ups. I just want the big fight. Well, this is the quote unquote big fight.
Yeah.
So why sit around and do all this content on, oh, you a duck, and you a duck, and then you a duck, and then you a cold duck, and like, no, because right now Virgil and his team are doing the shit that they do the same thing that Eddie and them is doing. This is what I be trying to say, because I said this too. Eddie and Oscar are a lot alike. Only Oscar used to box. Yeah. That's about it. Like, and Eddie got it handed down from his daddy. But instead of just sitting around having everybody just call everybody ducks, it's like, no, figure out a way to make it work. They said 10. So that was it. Like, that's, man, I would be so relieved. In business, that's a layup. That's a slam dunk for me. Okay, you want 10? Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get the 10, how to get them their 10, or they might not get all of that, but like, okay, they started there. That's what they said. They started there. So they shouldn't go no higher than that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't go no higher than that. So they started there. And we all know in negotiations, you start high.
They started with their best and final. After that, you just negotiate the fair.
You should be able to land at 7.5, 8. And it's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you figure out, you backwards plan, and you figure out how to make it work. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do the show me the money with Ben Whitaker. You BFFs with Turkey. You know what I'm saying? And he put on big fights and he got the money back. But now you're gonna sit around and try to label everybody else a duck, and you have a history of lowballing other people.
Exactly. So they did it right. And at the end of the day, 7.5 and 7.5 is a $15 million fight. This is perfect number for that. 16 million. If you gave them both them niggas 8, it's still within reason. You feel what I'm saying? Because the way you guys said you wanted to build it up, you wanted it to be the next Canelo versus Bud, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. You feel what I'm saying? And their numbers were higher. Even if you said 10 million, it's still just a $20 million fight. You feel what I'm saying? I'm only saying things like this because I'm staying to the language they're using to build this fight. And there's a fair value number in that. So if this is their starting point, you negotiate to the fair value. I started with my high, best and final, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to settle on the fair value price. And I think for me, the fair value price is somewhere between, the number is going to be between 7 and 8 or around 7.5, which still makes it a $15 to $16 million fight. I think that's super fair for where these two guys are. No belts are on the line. but this is what you guys are gonna say, and many fans are gonna say if the fight gets made, they're gonna say, nah, this is a legacy fight.
Yeah. And we in a time where the loser is going, like, unless it's a classic and we get a trilogy out of it, the loser's gonna take a big hit. You know what I'm saying? The loser's gonna take a big hit, like, because we in an era now where that's how fans are. Like, fans, I just said the Tank got a draw, and people act like he got knocked out. Earl got stopped by arguably the number one pound for pound guy, and people have a shit every time this dude even think about coming back, and they try to say he ain't nothing. This man had 3 straps. So if Virgil is to lose, especially not having a belt, man, they're gonna say all kind of crazy shit if Boots obliterate him. If Boots get stopped or Boots get dropped, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever, like if it's, because think about what happened, like
Boots get a standing 8. Let's just put it like, if he get a standing 8, if he's up against the rope and he get a standing 8, he's gonna go through the same thing.
Yeah, he gonna get like the everybody gonna go crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, for the terminology and how y'all try, that's why I was trying to say the other day, I was not trying to sound like a hater, but I'm like, man, if y'all gonna allow yourselves to be subject to this, be prepared to go. Y'all taking a long route. I said they're gonna try to make this shit like some Bud versus Spence shit, and this is not Bud versus Spence. I just said it. I'm like, yeah, it's the green print, but like where they at in their careers and like and all of the stuff that they're gonna put us through, like right now we need to be opportunistic. If he said 10 mil, you should be thanking the stars that he said 10 mil and not 15 or 20.
Yeah.
By himself. Like, okay, well shit, you got a backwards plan there. Okay, how can we make it work? You went in there, what you thought? Yeah, what you thought he was gonna say? Oh yeah, man, we'll take 5. And then what's the other golden rule? When the minute people start negotiating in public, they let you know.
Fight. Yeah, they don't want to fight.
You know what I'm saying? So why, like, I can go on and on, but I'm just trying to save people, man. If you would just listen, man, it's like you would save yourself a whole lot of heartache and pain, because there's a lot of people out here. Oh yeah, man, he ducking, and he that.
This is what I'm gonna say. Stylistically, I believe Virgil is tailor-made. You feel what I'm saying? But if Virgil works on this style that he just displayed, in this Lubin fight, you feel what I'm saying? Where it looked like he was setting traps and trying to, get Lubin to react so Lubin can keep backing up on the ropes, and he did it, using smart boxing feints, a jab, a probing jab, a jab that can split the high guard. If we just look at all of that on the face value, if Virgil was to start to hone and perfect that skill, yes, that skill is still tailor-made for a boxer like Boots, but it has its places to whereas you can see a path of victory for Virgil. Like if he can constantly force Boots to the ropes, and then he can do that Maidana, I'ma maul you shit. You feel what I'm saying? And then when Boots tries to turn to get out, muscle him, use your arm and throw him back onto the ropes, and then muscle him some more like Maidana did with Floyd Mayweather in the first fight. Floyd was a much, much more skilled fighter, but many people walked away from that fight like, yo, I kind of think Maidana edged that shit out. Like, yo,
yeah, it was enough. It was enough.
And that's what I'm saying. Virgil has that ability to maybe do to Boots, to whereas, stylistically, yes, you're tailor-made, but you have to now go into those bag of tricks and those wrinkles and show a different side of defense to keep that style off of you. Although, as long as you keep it on the end of your jab and you use your footwork, you're good. But what happens when he gets you in the corner or up against the ropes? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the thing is, this is where it get interesting, because this is going to put Boots at his biggest fight, and we all know pressure bust pipes. Like when let's just say they do it at AT&T Stadium, right? Because we all thought, like, when Karen was first announced and he was on that Tank undercard, we like, oh man, Boots about to obliterate this dude. And what do we see?
Yeah.
That dude used his feet. He had Boots whiffing. He didn't get the knockout. Then they say, oh man, that dude didn't come to fight, man. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. So that was like, okay. And they don't study film because they say people don't fight Boots the same way, right? So this is where it's like, yeah, stylistically, we know that style is tailor-made to Boots, but they still have to fight.
Yeah, and
like
that's
it's
the
still
point.
we still gotta see it, and that's the opportunity where it's like, well, all them out, things behave different when people are observing. It's a scientific fact. So
Yeah.
when you got like in that Cowboy Stadium, it's 80,000 people in that motherfucker. So let's just say 60,000 people come out to that fight. Things do behave a little different when that many eyeballs on there. Boots might turn up even more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like you know what I'm saying? Different things happen. It gets strange when all them eyeballs are looking, all them people watching, and the magnitude, because you got all this pressure to do all of that. People fade. You know what I'm saying? Some people shine. Some people do things that's uncharacteristic. You know what I'm saying? Like you might overtrain, undertrain. Like you got all these variables. That's why they still have to fight.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Boots' biggest weapon for me to beat Virgil and possibly get the stoppage and an impressive stoppage, bro, that uppercut you got is tailor-made for Virgil. Virgil's defense and shit like that, because once you start tagging his body, it's gonna make him open up that high guard just a little bit that you can, because you could throw that uppercut from angles. He'll throw that shit from these weird angles where he's stepping back and throwing it, and stepping back, stepping off to the side, and he's throwing it. Because the way, we talk about the Lima fight, but the way he threw that uppercut in the Lima fight, I was like, oh shit. Wow, how the fuck you pull that shit off? You was stepping back, twisting, and off at an angle, and you still caught him with that shit. Like he literally just walked into it. Great timing and punch placement. So I think that uppercut is going to be a big weapon for Boots in derailing a lot of what Ortiz may have to bring in. And I think the uppercut was one of Floyd uses, the uppercut in the check hook when he finally broke down Maidana. You feel what I'm saying? So high guard fighters and pressure fighters, in my opinion, if you got a nice uppercut, and guys that are way too methodical, if you got a nice uppercut, bro, you'll fuck a lot of them dudes up. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, where I'm at is, I still favor Boots in the fight versus Virgil, but I can see where Virgil could possibly eke away with a split decision, or even put Boots in some nasty situations, to whereas, that talking point is going to re-emerge for the third time in his career of Boots is not who we thought he was. And then we're going to start questioning his level of competition, because that, if he mastered that mauling style, you feel what I'm saying? And for me, it's if you let Virgil go into that high guard and then put his head anywhere on your body, you've already lost. You've given up too much real estate, and now bombs are just going to be coming from everywhere. It's like that rocket or that missile that goes up and then 20 bombs come out and they just start blowing shit up all over the place. It's just mayhem. So like that new style, that developing style of Virgil, I'm gonna dub it, mayhem. If you can't slow down that mayhem that he gonna drop on you, bro, it might get ugly for a lot of people out there, and a lot of methodical, technical people. I don't know if you can just deal with getting beat up and punched on like that from every direction.
Yeah, but it's definitely, Virgil definitely got more than a puncher's chance, because
Definitely.
It is 54, and all those times when Boots was in his backyard, or fighting, this style, Virgil might be better at that come for pressure fighting style than a lot of people, but I'm just sad that everybody acting so surprised. Like Golden Boy and them was, you know what I'm saying? They not like, yeah, we're gonna fight next. Like I'm just shocked that everybody is just acting so surprised. Like Robert Garcia damn near pretty much told you before the fight. He said before the fight, he was like, man, listen, they already got a venue. He said Boots and them already got a venue. They already got a date and a venue that they looking to fight. So he was like, man, that's not a venue for us. They already got that. So regardless if we go or not, that's what they're gonna do. So they're gonna try to make us conform to the date and the slot that they already got aligned. Like, since when do you ever that's why I'd be shocked that if people have their businesses or if they own businesses or if they run business. And I hate that I'm a fan having to talk like this, but that's business.
Yeah.
Like Virgil and them, they with Golden Boy and Oscar has a business he's running. Like they're not going to give up whatever cachet they got. And remember what I said earlier, they the ones who had all the stars come out to that fight. It wasn't a good look by Team Virgil to invite him up there and say, yeah, we can do it and all that, and then come back and say Earl is my dream fight. But that wasn't no secret. And they been had Jerry World in their back pocket. But Oscar and them are not gonna give up the cash in and leverage business wise and unless they get what they want. And I always say, we always know that when the money is right, the fights happen. Like with the Wilder Fury shit, the money was right, the money was there, so the fight happened. So it was like cross promotion, and this is the zone. This all the same platform, but just because it's the same platform, it was never a foregone conclusion.
Yeah,
this is not nothing new for Oscar and Eddie and them. This is like the pot calling the kettle black, because Eddie and them do this shit to people all the time. They just did it to the Normans. They did it to Conwell. They did it to everybody who would even sniffed an offer or even got involved just so they could turn around and say, oh yeah, they ducking. So they get it done to them. What are we crying for?
Yeah. And Virgil just fed right into how they're going to maneuver and write that story. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Because right now, you can tell that both sides are vibing for the who started talking shit to who first and what offer was really out there and who was the one who really was chasing and looking for the fight. Eddie Hearn fucks up by saying, listen, Boots is in a position where, he doesn't chase anybody. And I was like, wait a minute, Eddie. Maybe that might be his attitude since he got with you. But I can remember him and his daddy saying they've been chasing Earl and Bud since 2018. So, yeah, I you can come with those talking points, but we got the receipts of them saying what they're saying. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Boots and his team is gonna rock with the talking points because it's gonna favor them in the argument. Because if Virgil and them are asking for 10 mil, you feel what I'm saying? And you're talking on the A side type stuff and everything. That's a cross promotion fight between actually Matchroom and Golden Boy. Although the network platform is going to air on the Zone.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So Matchroom, it's a cross promotion between Matchroom and Golden Boy. If you're expecting Matchroom to put up all the funds and actually make the fight, to whereas these guys on this side, who you're saying the A side, all they have to do is sign for it, then it kind of puts me in a weird position to say, all right, you want to say you're A side, but you're not funding the fight. You feel what I'm saying? You're A side making B side movements.
Exactly. That's what I said, man. You can't. That's what I said, man. It's just, I mean, it sucks that as fans we gotta go through this, and it's like for me, it sounds like I'm trying to make every excuse in the book. I'm not. I'm just trying to say, like, where have you guys been? Have you guys not been following? Me and AC, we've been cooking on this shit. Every time this topic come up, I'm like, man, like Eddie, man, Oscar, man. It's like this is like something like I don't know why fans act surprised like when this shit happened, bro. Like I don't understand it. Like it's an anomaly. It's a anomaly. What you call it?
An anomaly. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's an anomaly to me that we act like this every time this happens. Like Boots put in work. Has he? Arguably, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like if you look at it objectively and you're not just being a fan of one fighter, then you could say, well, yeah, he's selling out at home. You know what I'm saying? He has made a name, but he hasn't. He had the belts, yeah. But we wouldn't be in the situation if he kept his belts and moved up the right way, or if he kept his belt and he moved up. Like if he would have instead of Lima. And you got to think, and I hate to point this out. People want to just hop and skip and jump on to okay, now Boots did what he did to Lima, right? And now Boots want to smoke with Virgil. Well, you know how promotional companies work. Promotional companies work like this because they brought it up. They said you could have had this fight. You could have had the fight. You could have had the fight after Stanyanis. It was another offer. Like after he beat Stanyanis, it was another offer. They knew that they was going to have to fight Giasov because he inherited a mandatory when he picked up Stanyanis. They knew they wasn't going to do it. So what was the purpose in turning down the Virgil fight when it was offered? They said, no, we want to stay and get undisputed. Then they didn't stay and get undisputed, and they jumped up the day before Brian Norman fight. So of course, Oscar and them going to kick the shit out of you for that because, and that's their talking point that they standing on. They just dividing the fans up with this shit and having us talk about minutia when it's business. It's just business. Like it's just business. So I'm not getting worked up about it. I see it. It's content for me to be able to kick these other motherfuckers in the ass because they're gonna lead y'all astray, lead y'all by the nose, have y'all arguing and fussing and fighting with each other. When it's like Eddie and Oscar are like one and the same. They both do some of the same type things. They're not gonna ruin their commodities unless they can capitalize on it. And they have not been able to capitalize on the bread from them. Eddie might have seen a couple dollars, but for the most part, it's been invest. And all of the times that Virgil, all those setbacks he had, he probably just now coming around to getting in the black or kind of making a little something. He's not going to risk all that so he can get obliterated by Boots. Neither one of them are going to risk their commodities unless the money makes sense. So like for one, so in all actuality, as much as we think it's a big fight, the fight is premature. Because if it was big enough, it wouldn't even be no talking.
Yeah. And a $10 million asking price is there. Oh, they would have made that shit in a heartbeat.
Because dare I ask you,
they giving these two dudes.
And dare I ask you, because I don't even want to do this. I don't like getting into their numbers, but if I was a fly on the wall, I'd be like, okay, well, what is Norman getting? What is Norman and Haney getting? That'll make y'all shut the fuck up if y'all really knew. Like if people really thought about what they was getting and how much that fight was, and that's one of 9 cards. That's one of 9 fights on the card.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know what I'm saying, 10. Because think about it. Ryan got 20 to fight Rolly. What are we talking about?
Yeah. And y'all niggas saying this is too much money. He pricing himself out.
So I'm like, man, y'all can get bent out of shape about this shit if y'all want to, but it's like I choose not to get led by the nose by some dumbass creators who out here who don't got shit to talk about and won't give the shine to the real people like Abdullah Mason. Like, you know what I'm saying? The people that's really like the young up and comers, like all these legacy fights that's going on, and don't nobody talk about this shit. Like nobody talking about this. It's rare that they talking about this. They stuck on this.
Yeah.
They scared to talk about this because they don't know if it's real or not. You still got this going on. It's all this legacy stuff out here, but they want to talk about and get stuck on the same old dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's too much information out here for us not to get caught up on that, man. Like money ain't a thing like Jermaine Dupri when people want to pay for it. Obviously, if this is such a talking point and we're gonna go on for days and this is the green print and these are two mega super giant gigantic stars and all that, we wouldn't be talking about it. Because Ryan got paid 20 mil to fight Rolly.
Yeah, so here's the funny part. When you brought up what's the name, it just made me think, all right, if you had to put the way they move and certain things like that, you had to put that in the music video of Turkey Al Sheep and Eddie Hearn. For me, that video would be Jermaine Dupri and Jay-Z, Money Ain't a Thing. Driving around in the four wheels, switching four lanes. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Screaming out, money ain't a thing. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's how you came in and this is what you was telling us. But you just sold us that money ain't a thing when it comes down to Ben Whitaker. You had him cameo in the Money Ain't a Thing video. You feel what I'm saying? But these two dudes who you saying is the biggest fight in American boxing, you're already belly aching and banging on about 10 fucking million fucking quid, bruv. 10 million quid, bruv. I mean, fuck's sake, bruv. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what happened to the Jermaine Dupri and the Jay-Z video y'all was pumping in the jump off? Because I could see Turk getting his like little groove on, like doing like the little West Coast rock with his elbows out, screaming money ain't a thing. You feel what I'm saying? With the Turk outfit on and everything, but y'all acting like when it comes down to this fight, money is a thing. But you telling us it's the biggest fight in boxing. But money is a thing.
Let me answer Johnny real quick. My question is, if you're right, Bodywork, how can't Boots be the A side? The Zone has at least a subscription model. How was Golden Boy able to put up the bag from a shot PPV model? For one, Oscar and them, they asked for the 10. So by doing that, they're conceding to be the B side when they do that. They just want that bread, which was kind of wild for Oscar to do that because he kind of basically shot his load. That should have never got put out there. I'm like, man, I would be creaming in my pants if I heard somebody say that in that position. But it's like, oh, okay, you started there. So you started there. That's the max. Okay, so a worst case scenario, we got to give these motherfuckers 10 mil. Well, you got Jerry's World. That stadium can hold 80,000. I just did the numbers on like $70 a wop. That's like 5.6, something like that. I dropped it down to 60. I dropped it down to 70 and did the math. But you can get like 4.5, 5.6 at $70 a watt, which we know it's going to be more than that. So that's just being modest. That's part of it right there, just for the attendance, right? Then it's on Golden Boy. I don't know what the network going to bring, and if they do the pay-per-view. My whole thing is this. If we're going to say it's a slippery slope, if we're going to deem that Boots is the A side, and I don't care who's the A side. I don't care. Right? I just know that the stars came out to Virgil, and Virgil has that Mexican fan base. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He got that big ass stadium. If they're going to do it up there in Philly, and it's going to be Eddie, and they're conceding to the A side, it's up to the A side to make sure that the other side get paid. They came out and said they won 10 mil. Ryan ain't never had a belt. He got 20. So you trying to tell me somebody who they deem as Virgil, who's supposed to be so much highly esteemed, he in his third weight class, only two people done made to the final bell, Boychuk and Madrimov. Everybody else got stopped or knocked out, right? So he's the golden boy right now. He's the one that Oscar's putting all his egg in the basket. But Ryan can come back and just get 20 off of a year suspension. Like, and it's hard. Like Virgil can't ask for 10. It's like I don't want to get caught up in the money. It just don't make sense to me. So if you're gonna put Boots in the A side, then those are A side problems. Like you can't call yourself like, come on, man. You can't have your shorty calling you daddy and poppy, and you can't be daddy or poppy. You know what I'm saying? It's like it don't work like that. You want me to call you Big Daddy, but what you got for me, Big Daddy? You know what I'm saying? Like it don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah.
Yeah.
You know.
And these are some of the things that I'm like, okay, are we actually listening to what's being said? I mean, there's a lot of interviews and a lot of informative information that was said in the last 24 hours that tells you that, hey, hold on, let's really like stop, hit the pause button, get some headphones out, the clear ones, the good ones, plug the headphones in and run that shit back and listen to it. If you got to, write it down, stop it after every couple of words and write it down, and then reread it if that's the type of person you are that learns. And then you're gonna learn some serious things that, you know, dudes are out here giving up certain things, making concessions right off the back, but then the audience is turning around and saying, well, it's up to Oscar. Okay, but Oscar just said, pay us 10 million. He said to them, pay us 10 million. So they're conceding to say, all right, Boots in them is this. But meanwhile, Oscar is also saying, yeah, so you just, I mean, if I was Eddie Hearn and Jerron Boots, I would just be looking at that last knockout that Virgil just did over Lubin in the second round, and I would say be careful, because right now, you know, Virgil is the man. So you just ask for money, conceding that you're willing to be the B side, but you keep talking and making these weird talking points like you're still trying to hold the A side. You've already conceded to that when you asked for the money. You had the A side status maybe in your thing when you had all of these people come to your fight, and then you called this man into the ring. But then when you asked for the 10 million, you just gave that up. And then you trying to now clean that up and say, yeah, no, we asked for the 10 million, but we still A side. And it's just like, okay, now, just like we talked about after the fight, it was that Sunday. It's like, now you're going to try to make A side a sticking point, and you're going to make the 10 million a sticking point. So what's going to be the other sticking point? You feel what I'm saying? It can't be the network, because both of y'all are going to fight on the same network. Both companies are bound, have a contract with the same network. So somebody's conceding something, and if you really want to make this fight happen, and you don't mind losing that asset, or saying, you know what, Virgil has the type of fan base, and we're talking about the Mexican fan base, that even if he took a loss, he can take a couple of low fights. You feel what I'm saying? Which may be considered tune-ups, and then start knocking off some decent names and shit like that, and he could rebuild his cachet.
Yeah. You want to know a sad reality, man? And I hate that I'm gonna say this, man. I hate that I gotta say this, man. They're gonna if this fight go down, man, they're gonna rake Boots and them over the coals, man. They're gonna rake Boots and them over the coals. It's almost like they're gonna make him pay the piper. Either he gonna go another route, and they're gonna let the fight build and marinate, and this will be like some Errol Spence and bullshit, where it's gonna be another 2-3 years before they fight, 2 years, a year and a half, or whatever. It ain't gonna be right away. Or they're gonna rake him over the coals. They're gonna make him take a loss. They're gonna make him get a sliver of the pie that he could get, because they can.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was trying to avoid everybody, the heartache and pain before the fight. I was trying to say, man, don't get too invested thinking it's next. You can do videos all day, every day, talking about how Virgil is a duck and how many ways. That shit ain't gonna get us to fight.
Yep.
All it's gonna do is have you rehearsing your talking points, and you're gonna have so many different examples and ways to say it. It ain't gonna get us to fight.
Yeah.
You're dealing with two promoters that are like one and the same. They just happen to be on the same platform, and they both happen to have two commodities. Unfortunately for Boots, Virgil been at that weight class, and he's already perceived as fighting all of these killers. Were they killers?
I mean, I kind of just went over the whole Boachuk story. Okay, people say, you know, and I saw the fight, and I'm a person that's not going to say people say. I felt Boachuk beat you. You feel what I'm saying? The fight I saw, Boachuk beat you, but you got that A side nod. Boachuk gets stopped by Brandon Adams.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Prior to you fighting him, Virgil, he was stopped by Brandon Adams before you fought him. And I felt that Boachuk beat you. And then he rematches Brandon Adams, and Brandon Adams gets a unanimous decision. What does that really say about you, Virgil?
But guess what, AC? Guess what though? That was Boots' first choice, Boachuk, right? And you know what they saying? Man, Boachuk turned down $1 million payday to go do that because he wanted to fight on what's the name? And you know what I say? Eddie. When are y'all gonna put the bullseye back on Eddie and say, listen, bro, nobody is taking low dough or short bread to fight Boots.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna talk about this till we blue in the face. They're not gonna do it.
No, not at all.
Like they're not gonna get in there and risk getting brain damage or getting really fucked up. Like, this is a stark reality that we gotta stop. Like, we gotta recognize they are not gonna take shortbread, slow dough. Like, no, they're not. Because then more than likely right now, the traction that Boots got, right, unless you just bad, and the people that might be able to do it, they don't even send them kind of offers to. Like, they doing it to people who, like, think about it. They doing it to people like Boachuk. Well, Boachuk got stopped by Brandon Adams already. Like, they sent the low ball offer to Conwell. Conwell just got beat by Perez, even though we like him. That dude Chino Perez, who Xander Zayas box circles around.
Yeah.
Right? They sent the low ball offer to Rashidi Ellis and pulled him up for a half. He didn't take it. People are not going to take no slow dough, no short bread to go in there and get hit in the head by Boots. Like, I mean, and we can get online and we can cry all day, every day. It's not going to change his dilemma. Y'all got to start looking at Eddie saying, damn, Eddie, how long before we put foot in your ass? Because you just gave Ben Whitaker all that bread.
Yeah.
He said, show me the money, and you showed him the goddamn money. That's why he came on board. So now you got a commodity like Boots, and you don't want to pay nobody. You think people just going to get in there for a ham sandwich? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And that's where we're, you know, for us, we're being cautious about this fight. Knowing, and for me, I'm going to keep bringing up the simple fact that right after Boots fought Lima, Eddie Hearn said that fight may be 2027, maybe 2028. Boots has some things he needs to do. We want to really build him and guarantee he's the number one guy. And I'm paraphrasing. Basically, he's saying they want to make sure Boots is the number one guy at 54. They want to make sure Boots is everything he's doing is putting him in line to be undisputed at 154 pounds. So they can start to build this, you know, possible mega fight 5 years from now between Boots and Ben Whitaker. Because Eddie said these are my two promising stars that I have there. And then he answered the question and said, I have no intentions of putting Conor Ben in the rings with the likes of Jerron Boots Ennis. That's not going to happen. I'd rather him fight these type of guys. So he's got big plans for Boots. And this is where it's like, it's a constant mind fuck, because you're like, I know these two guys want to fight. I just saw what I saw. I cannot unsee what I just saw. I cannot unhear what I just heard. But if I go back and constantly look at what is consistently being said, inferenced, and everything else, these dudes is not gonna get in the ring for another 2 years, at the very least. So I'm like, how somebody's gonna take the blunt end. Somebody's gonna take the blunt end of internet backlash. Somebody's gonna, have to suck in the fact that you're gonna be the sponge and you're gonna be the scapegoat for the reason why this super fight is not gonna happen. And more than likely, it looks like by the move Oscar just did, he set up himself and Virgil to be that. Now, here's my thing. When that happens, does Virgil now stay with Golden Boy, or is Virgil looking to go with somebody else? Because that's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing that caused the rip between him and Canelo. And when he got Canelo, he was tickled pink.
Yeah, I don't think he ain't going nowhere. But what's up, Crush? What's going on, bro? Crush.
What's to it, y'all? What's going on? What's poppin'? How y'all feeling, man?
We good, bro.
Man.
We good, man.
It's good to see you back cooking Bodywork. So when I see you, I'm coming over, and then it's always good to run into my bro ADC. That's always keeping it real and always hitting me to something that I probably didn't research yet, or nobody else never said. So it's always a good thing, man. So y'all cooking over here, man. This whole Virgil with this is some bullshit. And
you cut out. Happy Veterans Day too, Crush.
Oh,
you cut
thanks,
out.
bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate saying to you too, bro. Appreciate that. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans too, man. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies today too, so that was cool. But yeah, so it looked like maybe Virgil needs to do that. And I was just thinking the same similar thing about Bruce Ennis when it comes to Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust Eddie, man. I don't trust Eddie for a damn thing. And this is just how I honestly feel, but for the sake.
Cut out again. You cut out again. Go ahead.
Yeah. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm like, for the sake of my man Bruce, don't misjudge do. But I'm thinking he might need to make moves that the other cats need to do. Buy themselves out their contract. You hot enough right now. Go somewhere where you can get it done, so you can beat on these people's asses. And these haters keep on talking these ducktails, but you gonna make these dudes curl like a dog. And when they get their ass beat, they're gonna tuck their tail in between their ass, and that's just how I feel, man. But we'll see, man. But it makes sense. It seems like they probably not gonna do that fight until later. But dang, he came up with it. He dropped the gem when he brought up Ben Whitaker. And how viable Ben Whitaker is too, because nobody don't know. Most likely, like he don't really have to start, so it automatically it look like Bruce as far as American wise, and then we know he's going to do for his UK fighters with Conor Ben. So I'm definitely not going to put those guys together. But the thing is, if you're trying to look out for the American fan base and protect yours without putting these guys in the ring with each other, because you know what the fuck is going to happen. Then how you gonna cater to this man's career? Because there's already guys that don't want to fight him, and maybe it's because of the money. And I'm not with that, because I'll fight you for any fucking thing. But I can understand where these dudes coming from, because they saw. You see what I'm saying? So they want a little tip for the ass whipping they're gonna take. And okay, this is your time. This is to solve the cotton bowl of boxing. There's a handful of these guys in the sport that's not that way, but the most established guys that we talk about on a day-to-day basis, they soft as fuck. This shit getting on my nerves, and the back and forth. We don't know we got T.O. Shakur happening. I'm tired of all this bullshit. Y'all either rumbling or you're not. That's how I feel, and that's all I give a damn about, man.
I couldn't agree more, man. We in a soft era, man. It's messed up that Virgil and them would invite the man up there and be like, and they know damn well that's not where they were gonna go, man. Like, but Boots gotta look at Eddie, man. It's that's Eddie's responsibility. Like you happy with the money you getting, okay, cool. But if you're not happy with the opponents you getting, I mean, that's the guy that you rely on. Like, it's other options, and that's why I didn't know when he said that he completed his third fight and he completed that contract, and then he was going, they was going re-up with it. I was like, man, you did the same thing that people crucified Bud for. So some of that is like, you gotta take some accountability for getting with Eddie, man. And then these guys we've known for years now that people ain't taking scraps to get in there with Boots. It's just a harsh reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, go ahead, Crush.
And that been about the case since the announcement of this young man. That's why, people been hard, and you know how it is, pressure bust pipes, and he's one of those guys. Well, he ain't fought this person, he ain't fought that person. I'm like, well, damn, that same person that you talking about, he didn't fight him either. Nor is the person or the people that you talking about that he's not fighting is eager to fucking fight him. So there's no need for you.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's no need for you to. If they're not mentioning them themselves, you mention them, don't do shit for them, because you're just being exposed even more. So, it's a tough situation, but hopefully he can get himself where he wants to be, and somebody can help him get the fights that he really wants. Now, people was talking about turkey. Y'all know how I feel about turkey. I like turkey, but I like turkey that you eat. I don't care about turkey out of sheep. Whatever he puts together, he puts together. If it's a matchup that I like, I'm going to goddamn watch. I don't give a damn about who the promoter is. It's like I don't give a damn about what goes in their damn pocket. I just care about the damn fight. I don't care if two drunks put together the damn matchup. If it's a matchup that I want to see, I don't give a damn about the promoter. I ain't gonna, oh man, that old drunk over there, he putting together. Yeah, he got them two motherfuckers fighting. But I'm gonna watch that shit, and I might get drunk with the motherfucker. What we talking about? That's not the thing. So it's such a tough situation when it comes to these fighters in their careers, and I think they need to come up with something where these fighters have more control of their careers, man. Like in the music business, you know how you got the independents, and you see how a lot of them made it work for them. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna pass the mic. Y'all, people can say what they want, but hey, somebody reminds me of Leo gets what Leo wants, Leo gets. Listen, if you really want it, you gotta pull a fucking Ryan Garcia. You can say how goofy he is, but guess what? When Ryan really wanted the fight that we know he wanted to take, Ryan made that shit go happen. He told Golden Spatula, listen, dude, I'm not playing with you. You ain't gonna make it happen. Man, I'll go ahead and make it happen somewhere else.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He made some things happen, and then on top of that, Golden bitch can't run it back like Whipperpill. You see what I'm saying? He's like, I'm about to fuck up this business. You have to be like that. If you really want it, fuck your promoters. If they taking too long, and you're a guy that the people want to see, and a lot of people want to see Jerome Boots Ennis win or lose, get busy with the guys we want to see him fight. Do what you gotta do. Floyd Mayweather did it. People say Floyd Mayweather fucked up the sport. No, these little motherfuckers didn't understand the motherfucking lesson the correct way. That's what I say. You know what I'm saying? And Floyd's all type of dickheads outside the ring, but no, they didn't convey what he was saying the right way. So I'm not trying to hear that, because when that man wanted to make it happen for himself, he said, listen, man, fuck you, old fart. You know what I mean? Here go this, because I'm gonna get this back triple. I'm out of here. You don't know what you just lost. And when you know you like that, you stand on that and you make that damn move and you make them pay for it. And trust me, Floyd Mayweather did make Bob pay for it. Because look at all the fucking money Bob lost. that he could not be a part of.
Yeah.
What Floyd did with, that's what you gotta do. Ryan really wanted that Tank fight. Ryan fooled everybody. Ryan made that shit happen. I had to shut the fuck up. I said, I respect him on that. Then he turned around and did something else. Easy gave us Dev too. So what we talking about, you really want it, you gonna make it happen. Cause I'll be putting my foot all up in my promoter ass nigga. I'm gonna make a move without you because right now I'm the shit. You ain't got nothing left much in your stable. If I roll out right now, nigga, you fucked. Because when it ain't gonna be that old massive pill attraction over in the UK, but when you trying to get this American money, we don't give a fuck about that UK shit. We don't care.
Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, Crush, when it comes down to, you know, where people are saying that is Oscar gonna, well, just in general, where is Oscar gonna let Virgil go out and get this fight, or is he gonna try to protect him or whatever? This is where Virgil has to say, listen, win, lose, or draw. People want to see me in this ring with this guy. To have me do all of this other stuff, I really don't give a shit about it. Because right now I'm in my 3rd division. I still ain't got a belt. This is my 5th. This will be my, if that's next, this will be my 6th fight at this division. And the best that I did was, you know, get an interim belt, but my name is ringing bells and with y'all dubbing the super fight. It don't matter if I win or lose. Win or lose, what matters is, did I make the fucking fight, bruh? So fuck your plan for me. I'm not your commodity. I'm my own commodity. And if I want to take this gamble and take the chance at whether I'm gonna get my ass whipped or not, I'm just a fighter that's made of that cloth, and I'm gonna do it. This is why, for me, you know, I got to give Dev his credit on doing this, because yeah, Dev could easily take on, you know, the talking points of what they're trying to do with Virgil, but he's like, no, I want this fucking fight. This is part of my legacy. This is part of my destiny. Whether I win, lose, get smacked to sleep, whatever. What people are not gonna remember to a certain degree, is the way this is right now. They may not remember the outcome, but they'll definitely remember that I didn't back down from any of the tough competition.
Yeah, I didn't maneuver. You know,
Yeah.
his rep could take a hit if it go, you know, if he listen to Oscar, depending on how they match him up, because, you know, I think they're gonna try to go for Fundora. I think they waiting on that Keith Thurman, because I think it was a chess move on Fundora and Keith anyway to get that, or Fundora at least, to push that back. So now they're gonna wait for that, because they got an interim, which is basically a first class ticket to that belt. They just gotta not lose. They just gotta not lose and stay in that line. So I was asking beforehand, I'm like, you think Oscar gonna let him risk the biscuit before he even get a shot at that? So if he don't take this boot shit right now, his image gonna take a hit. And then if he gets smashed by Fundora, people gonna have their narratives or whatever. But like, he need to take the boots fight since they let him get in the ring, because they knew they didn't have no intentions on doing it. But it could hurt Virgil's reputation, especially with all this bullshit they saying.
But here's where I'm at with it, Pop. I don't know if he beats Boots, but I'm pretty confident he beats Fundora. I don't know if Fundora, you know, because Fundora's fighting style is going to lend into that mayhem mauling style that I described earlier, because Fundora's going to want to be on the inside. That's what he's going to want to do. If he's smart and sticks to the game plan, you're going to do everything off the jab, but at the end of the day, he's going to go to what his muscle memory is more accustomed to. His pop said they want to train him on the inside first and then let him work on his outside game. So once he gets popped, what is he going to do? We've seen it in both Tim Zook fights. He reverts to closing the distance and fighting you up close. So I'm just like, that's just my opinion. Other people may feel differently about it, but I think Virgil, I feel Virgil loses to Boots, but beats Fundora.
Yeah, but I think that's what Oscar had for him planned all along. That's why, I don't know why people getting bent out of shape, because Oscar's doing what Oscar does. But go ahead, Clark.
Yeah, I agree with AC and what you were saying. Both. This is what Oscar does, man. So it's a gamble. But moving along, if I can, because I really wanted to touch in on the title or the thumbnail, man. Because yes, it's
Cut out.
yeah, it's time for Abdullah Mason, man. I'm big on the next era, the next class of guys, because I'm really done with these established guys. They still have not given us everything that we wanted, and I ain't gonna keep on waiting on it. Boxing moves on. I've been watching this shit way before these little suckers was even born, and I'm gonna continue watching it. The sport move on. So yeah, it's time for the Abdullah Mason, the Kamal Moore, the Scooter Davis, and Joseph Brown and all those guys, because maybe they can make some things happen. But I'm pretty bored with the usual suspects. But yeah, I had enough of them, and with all the politicking they doing and not enough going to war, they really fucking up their career. And I have a motto that I say: a lot of these fighters' careers is already over before it's over. I say this all the time, and I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to understand that. Meaning that y'all done fucked up the paper. Y'all done turned your nose up and did it. Now those opportunities are not there anymore. Meaning that some of these fights that you wanted, and you keep pointing your finger at who's the reason why it ain't gonna happen. This is the reason why this shit ain't gonna happen, because these motherfuckers don't know how to hustle. They're not hustling. Back in the 90s, they ain't give a fuck how much I'm getting paid. I just ain't really, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna whoop that ass, because something is better than a pocket full of a lint and a wallet full of ID cards. Okay, so these guys don't know how to hustle, man, and then you got to take everything that you need to take in order to make your state in here. It's not going to happen like that. You really want to be the man, you got to go through all the trenches financially and physically in this damn sport. That's just what it is. No matter if you moving legacy-wise first, no matter if you moving money-wise first, guess what? They all equal up to the same thing at the end of the goddamn day, because some legacy is going to come with money, some money is going to come with legacy, you knuckleheads. So when y'all here arguing back and forth about this nonsense about money and legacy, they all entwine into the same thing, equal to prize fighting. That's what it is. Legacy and money come with it, but you got to get paid, okay? It's not about decorating your goddamn mantelpiece and all that shit, but it comes with it. Let's look at some of the fights that we talk about to this day. They was big camp, they was big at the gate, and they was big in the performance. So that's how it goes, man. So you pick which road you want to take first. Some of them take the legacy road first, and it works out for them, and then it doesn't. Then you got the people who's taking the money route, and we see who the money route is working for. You saying we see who the money route ain't working for. Shakur ain't got a money fight yet. Goddamn T.O. Video, all this accolade shit and all that. I keep on telling y'all. But he ain't got paid yet. With all these accolades, he's getting paid peanuts. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, you either gonna be that massive pill or you ain't. And it ain't guaranteed that everybody's gonna have the same love and light for you. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's a true
man. That's why I think that's why I like how Abdullah is moving, because he's smart. Like he's like people. He's already building a fan base of people that can trust him. For one, he's gonna fight. He's been fighting 5 times a year. We know that's might slow down a little bit, but we can expect to see him 2 or 3 times a year. We already know he's going to do that, and we already know he's going to want to fight the best. You know what I'm saying? And he's smart, so he's already building equity with the fans to where he gonna get paid, and we gonna actually see film. He gonna have playback value. It's gonna be plenty of material for people to watch him for years to come. You see, you got somebody like Schofield who already turned down $1 million to fight this dude. I'm like, you already turned down a bag to fight this dude to go fight Tevin Farmer, who jaw like long in the tooth, and then you was about to fight JoJo. Meanwhile, this young man, Abdullah Mason, he getting ready to go fight for a real strap. And once he get that strap, the sky's the limit. Like, it's already the sky's the limit for him. But if he was to be successful when he fight on this 22nd and get that strap, he off to the races. He's already set because he runs toward the smoke and he's willing to get in there. If he get dropped, he getting back up. He gonna fight. He's willing to go for the names. He ready to go for the strap. You can put a venue on him. He can save the day with a venue like he did with the Keyshawn thing. He already on his way. He don't gotta sit around and look and say, oh, how's my legacy gonna be and how it is. He just gonna go try to fight the best. You know what I'm saying? He's not pulling out of no fights. He's staying active, and he's gonna be better than all these guys.
Yeah,
he's gonna be better than these guys.
He's got all the it qualities that lets you know fighting for the belts is going to matter with him. Fighting for legacy is going to matter with him. The accolades will matter with him because he's doing it from the way we like it. When we see a fighter do it from the mud, and they have a certain attitude and a certain ambiance about themselves, and they carry themselves with a certain poise and shit like that. These are the guys that we get behind and say, yeah, once he gets a belt, then that's just gonna add another comma to whatever he does. You feel what I'm saying?
Look, and he's branding. I seen him do something earlier today where he went live. They're gonna have a watch party out there where he at. They doing it for free. He got the appetite for smoke. I'm getting ready to get one of them t-shirts. I looked at it the other day. I was driving. I forgot to look back at it again. I'm getting ready to get one of his shirts, but he understands branding.
Yeah.
He started to get on social media and asking questions like, hey, what color should I wear? What color y'all think I'm gonna wear? So he's already interacting. So he's smarter than these other guys. Man.
He building a fight by doing shit like that. That's how you positively build a fight. I'm one of the participants in the Night of Champions. Although I don't have a belt, I'm fighting for a belt when everybody else on the card has a belt. So in my debut as a championship fight, what color y'all want to see me wear? This is the type of shit young boxing fans eat the fuck up. Because now they feel like, yo, if he come out in the colors that I said, oh yeah, he hit the like button to what I said. He hit the like and gave me a reply. That's what we call people's champ quality. You feel what I'm saying? And when you look at, just to bring him up again, because I can't really talk about Mason without bringing him up as well. Brian Norman having all those little intimate pressers with just Atlanta only people, whether you're a YouTuber, an influencer, news or whatever, he has these little pressers that he's been doing with Atlanta only people inside the gym that he's at. And they just standing there as one person with the camera and they just filming it and everybody's just asking these freelance type of questions and stuff like that. So I'm just like, see, when you do stuff like that and then your pops come in and he talks about this heartfelt moment with giving you a trophy and stuff like that, that's the type of shit that the fans of the People's Champ soak in like biscuits and gravy. Yeah. So at the end of the day, man, when I look at Mason and the things that Mason is doing, he's one of those dudes that you are not going to be able to deny his greatness and the mere fact that he's showing us that he's one of them ones. He's positively promoting his fight without all the negative, without disrespecting his opponent. I've never heard him say a negative word about Sam Noakes, although I've heard people try to interview him like, you know, Sam Noakes really isn't on your level, he's this, he's that. And it's like, no, the guy's really good. He brings a lot to the table. He's a challenge for me. For many, he's one of my biggest step up fights. So I'm aware of what I'm going into. So he's not trying to feed into any of the talking points that us fans may be saying. He's like, look, I understand the assignment, and regardless of what y'all saying, this is a dangerous dude.
Yeah, he said he durable, he can punch. Like, he give him he's smart. That's what I say. He's smart. It's a couple guys out here. He's smarter than a lot of these guys. He's well rounded. Like, a lot of people were saying he don't talk. He's like, well, he don't talk because a lot of these fans, they want, I don't know what they want, but they want somebody, I don't know, but he's covering that by becoming more social. He's getting out and doing social media stuff. He's interacting. He got the appetite for he got a moniker. He got merch. He got his father. His father's a lot cooler. His father is a lot cooler than what people think. You could hear him in the background guiding them, but he ain't hardy and high-minded. He ain't out here just blah, 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 blah for his son. Abdullah know how to answer questions. He don't get trapped by questions. You know what I'm saying? He's respectable, but he still has a way to convey that he still wants to smoke.
Yeah.
That yes, and yes. That fight friend or train with, and that fight, man. He already leaps and bounds beyond, you know what I'm saying, all of these youngins, man. Like, a lot of them, except for Bam. That's why I say Bam, Brian Norman, and Abdullah. Yeah. Like, if they move like these guys and how they move, boxing gonna be all right. And that's why I'm like, Crush, I'm trying to get more into these guys. I'm trying to do more stuff on these guys, but everybody want to be stuck on the drama and shit.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, for me, I'm a person who feels like this. I've been watching Abdullah, and all I see is a constant improvement. I got to bring one more name into this fold because he's so new in boxing, just his attitude, the family structure, and everything else. And we, I think a lot of people are, I'm not going to say I think a lot of people, he's not being noticed yet because he's showing up on these big fight cards, but he's on the undercard. And I got to throw, the youngest prospect out of all of them. I got to throw in Joseph Brown.
Yeah.
He's another cat. Yeah.
I did say his name. Yep.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, who might be watching the playback, he's like a 5-0 fighter, maybe 6-0 coming out of Canada. He fights out of Floyd Mayweather's gym and stuff like that, and things like that. But he's showing us the same attitudes when we was looking at Abdullah Mason when he was at the had the same type of record. Unfortunately, Brian Norman, we couldn't get that type of footage or feel or word from him unless he was probably in Atlanta, but he was doing a lot of traveling down to Mexico early on and stuff like that. So, now that Joseph Brown is in there and he's at this, world-renowned gym under the Mayweather gym and stuff like that, working with Rolly, some are actually giving Rolly the credit of looking sharper and stuff like that because the amount of sparring he's supposedly had been doing with Joseph Brown. And I can agree to that to a certain degree because both of them have the kickboxing, martial arts background. And when you meet somebody that's around your age group, but maybe even a little bit younger, but still coming from the same background you coming from, you'll find that commonality. You feel what I'm saying? Granted, Tank and AB, you feel what I'm saying? So these two type guys, I could see them feeding off of each other, and Rolly being the hard puncher that he is. If he gets some technical aspects up under him and stuff like that, I think he's a great sparring partner for the young guy. And at the end of the day, him, Joseph Brown, Abdullah Mason, Bam Rodriguez, and Brian Norman Jr., those are my 4 fighters that I'm actually looking at, moving forward. There's another guy Another possible 2 guys, but I got to see how they moving forward.
Good stuff. Well, what y'all want to close out, man? What's your closing thoughts, Crush, man? I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Always, homie. Real quick, I can't wait for November 22nd. I love this fight card. Four belts on the line. Abdullah gonna put his first belt, and everybody else doing what they do. Any one of these main event undercards could have been the main event. And I love the fact that this undercard is even being talked about even more than the main event. And I got nothing but love and respect for the Mexican Monster Killer. And I think him and Yard is going to do this thing, but that just comes to show where a lot of boxing fans, their weight classes, their interest is in. You know what I mean? So, you know, people really want to see what Deb is made of. People really that believe in Brian Norman Jr. saying, no, he's next. People want to see that, and that's bigger than a Yard fight. It's no disrespect. We used to David being in there with bigger names. Then we got Bam, who always come to get that smoke. I wish him and Monster NUA was in the same weight class, because I put my whole fucking bank on Bam all day, because if he get him in trouble, he gonna know how to finish him. That's what's wrong with the guys that got NUA in trouble. They are not finishing, so it ain't too far-fetched that he can't get the fuck stopped. Somebody just got to be a cold finisher and, you know, get rid of his ass. But it's going to be a dope card, so I'm looking forward to it. Deb and Brian Norman Jr., that's the fight, the matchup right now. That's the most anticipated fight for me right now. Outside of, I'm wondering what's going to happen between Isaac Cruz and Lamont Roach. I'm interested in that too, but I can't wait. But other than that, great to see you back. I'm gonna come over and cook, man. Whenever you hear AC, you know how we do. Whenever we hear we over at Smokes or whatever, it's always nothing but real boxing talk, sharing information, and it's edutainment. Like Harris informative and it's entertaining at the same time, and I'm appreciated always kicking it with you guys.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Appreciate it, man. All right, man. Have a good evening, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, for
right,
sure.
man.
For me, I'm gonna close it off like this. Being that we did the Devin Haney, we did the Yard versus Benavidez fight. Let's give Bam his spotlight.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I believe Bam's fight is a unification.
Yeah.
So Bam is defending his title, and Fernando Martinez is defending his title. Fernando Martinez is 18-0. Bam is 22-0. Let me just do this real quick. He's ranked number 3 in the world out of 908 fighters. This is BoxRec stats. Out of his respective country of Argentina, he's ranked number 1 out of 18 fights. He's 5'2" with a 64-inch reach, 172 rounds in, 18 full bouts. He has a 50% knockout rate. Talking about Bam is ranked number 1 globally out of 908 fighters. He's ranked number 1 in the USA out of 53 fighters. 22 fights total, 23 rounds, 68.18 knockout percentage rate. Bam is 25. I didn't see the other guy's age. He's 5'4" with a 67-inch reach advantage. So Bam is taller by 2 inches, and he has a 4-inch reach advantage. In this unification bout, this should be a cakewalk for Bam. But at the end of the day, it's a unification. The guy is a champion. And, I look forward to talking about this fight. You know what I'm saying? maybe in between, I'll do some see if I can find film, which I think I should be able to pretty easily on Fernando Martinez. So yeah, I look forward to that cook as well.
I'll jail something up, but yeah, good point, man. We got to get around the Bam. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my guys, man. So yeah, I could come up with something for that, man. We could definitely cook on that, man, and give him his spotlight.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate you as always, man. Good chopping it up, man. You know, we'll be back on a couple more times this week.
Yeah, for sure, man. And again, man, great cook today, man. Great, definitely a great cook. Everybody that pulled up on the panel, salute to y'all. Salute to everybody in the chat. I'm on to the next one, bro. Enjoy your evening, my guy, and big shout out to all the veterans. Although Veterans Day officially passed 51 minutes ago.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Peace. Yeah, man, but I think we had a good cook, man. You know, I wanted to give the young man Abdullah Mason his shine, man. I think he's the future. He very much can grab this torch, man. If he passed this test, because he is the prototype, man. He got a good head on his shoulders. You know, he got a strong father. He got the talent. You know, he speaks very well. He's intelligent. He don't get trapped by questions. He's not sensational. His conduct is what you would want, you know, a young man to be. And he don't gotta have a lot of gimmicks. You know, all he do is he get in the ring, he let his hand render the judgment. You know what I'm saying? He's 1%, less than 1% shy of having a 90% knockout ratio. That means 9 out of 10 niggas is going night when they step in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? 5'9" with a 74-inch arm reach, man. He's probably gonna be one of the greatest welterweights to ever live, man. You know, universe willing, shall I say. And support them, man. We got to get behind these guys, man. We got to get off the beaten path, man. I do a lot of the things that I do on this channel for if you notice, man, I always, like, somehow, some way, I always be pulling for the underdog. I'll dredge up something to try to pull, because it's no fun when you always going for the top guy or the guy that should win. Like, all of the stuff I was doing about Lubin going into this fight, putting stakes in the ground for him. All the things I used to do for Sabril Matias, like when he was getting ducked. The things I'm doing for Bakram since he was getting ducked. That's what this channel is about, man. It's putting the spotlight in areas where a lot of people are shying away from, even though they claim to be legacy type driven type people. You know what I'm saying? I want to get off the beaten path, man. Get to know Joseph Brown. Get to know Abdullah Mason. You know what I'm saying? Dig into Brian Norman's background and his past. You know, look at Bam and the moves he's making. If people coming up behind them act more like them guys, fight more like them guys, they don't got to do a lot of stuff outside the ring. All they got to do is keep showing up and rendering judgment with the ones and the twos and putting it down. You know what I'm saying? They've been very, very successful. They move like they're supposed to. You know, so I just wanted to put stakes in the ground for these people, man, and just hold it down, man. But salute. Salute to everybody who came through, man. Crush. Salute to AC. Salute to everybody in the chat. Johnny Allison, Aaron Jones, Irony Boxing, Cookie Monster, Honeybee, his twin. We had some fun, man. I think we did justice by this one, man. But as always, man, I'll be back, you know what I'm saying? I'll be back to cook on something, and you know what I'm saying, soon. Anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body Work.